It did. Ah, it's a little delayed. Fantastic. Buttons do work. Hi YouTube, how we doing? Everyone say hello to YouTube. Oh look, I'm starting to fall asleep and my food is not here yet. Hey, that's fine, Tatty. Lurk away. Lurk away. But hello YouTube, welcome back to another episode of Puzzles and Podcasts with Snoo, Mox, and Trinky. Trinky's running a little late. Trinky will be here though, so do not worry. Hi TY. Yeah. Welcome to June. It's going to be one of the few streams that you're going to be getting this month. You're going to be getting about 2 weeks worth of streams because obviously I'm away at the end of it. I shall lurk in the buff. You lurk in the buff as much as you want. Because you're not on camera. It's fine. So, yeah, we're going to be doing more puzzle, continuing that ocean puzzle, which will be good. And hopefully we'll get more of that done. We're about 42% of the way through, which is not too shabby. Is there anything else I needed to say? Check Twitter for any updates. Obviously, check the Discord for full schedules on the things. We'll be playing a lot of Fade Tactics. Astroneer will be back. And then in July, I will be back. I will be joining, at least for one stream, on a Tuesday no less. I won't be streaming, but they will be. I'll be in the cabin with a Hascam crew, so you can show them some love on the day. That'd be great. I probably won't upload the VOD to YouTube as it's not my stream, but I will be there. Just my balls hanging out, staring at you in the foul. And it's TY. And it's off TY. TOS in the bin. Yeah, true. Anyway, let's unmute and get on over into the game, shall we? Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello, hello. I have been getting reports, apparently, that Gray pulled a big, fast one on you.
Oh, yeah, that was a huge jump scare. Alright, I need to work out how I can do that. I want to get the... Oh yeah, because it's showing me up here who's speaking and everything, but I want to put like the Discord icons on screen or whatever. I need to work that out. So that's fine.
Oh,
Yeah,
the overlay? Oh,
yeah.
where's Trinky? Trinky is running late. I'm guessing that they're finishing up some work and stuff.
Snoo and Mox are wondering what you were talking about. I was doing my intro!
Oh, we thought you were talking about boys.
Boys? What?
Yes.
Well, look, Tatty was making comments about his balls being out everywhere, so...
Yeah, talking about the boys.
The boys?
The boys.
The boys.
No, I was just doing my general intro and then YouTubian intros.
Yeah. I put 2 pieces already, and I'm feeling very accomplished.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
We've got a we can use this as a chance to catch up on Trinky.
I was talking about
Yeah.
that same thing. Boing. What do you mean boing? What are you saying boing?
Boing.
Right. So how has everybody been today?
Aside from sleepy, I'm alright.
Yeah, not too bad. I acquired a new suitcase because the cabin bag, the overhead bins in Embraer jets are fucking tiny.
They're just small, like super small.
Oh yeah, they're like really small. Well, no, they're not really small, but they're smaller than like what you'd get on say EasyJet over here. I don't know the exact dimensions that EasyJets have, but they're decently sized. Like your week's worth of clothes for travel could easily fit in the EasyJet overhead bins. but not on the small Embraer like the ERJ 145s. The bag that I normally take, last time I used it, got stuck in an overhead bin.
Oh no!
Oh no.
I managed to get it out. It was fine. It was very difficult to get out. And it was it 11 o'clock, half 11 at night, because that's the only time I could get the flight. Like my flight into Dallas.
Greg, I'm sorry, I'm bad at paying attention to chat.
The flight into Dallas is when I used the flight. When I go from Heathrow, I'd get in at about 4, 5 in the afternoon, Dallas time.
Alright.
And I wouldn't be able to, because if you've flown up, have you guys flown out of the US, outside of the US?
No.
No. Never.
Never, unfortunately.
So when going into the US, you don't have anything that resembles in-flight or in-transit customs or anything like that. So you need to unload your bags and then recheck in. I wouldn't be able to do all of that and get to my flight in time if I was on an earlier flight than like 10 o'clock. Because it is a long-ass process, and I'm not looking forward to it.
I don't imagine so. I have to agree with Gray's sentiment where, like, being stuck on a plane for that long just would drive me batty.
It's not too bad, because you're on such a long haul flight and stuff like that, you get you have access to like entertainment. There's like the in-flight entertainment system. There's a decent amount of movies on there, so.
Alright.
If your flight is like about like 10 minutes to an hour and a half, no, you get like nothing.
Oh my god, I just thought of something hilarious and stupid.
Oh.
If we ever go on a long flight soon, like if we're going to another country entirely, right? And there's more than just me and you, okay?
Mhm.
We should totally do D&D on the plane.
See, I have ridden on planes for multiple hours before, and here's my strategy every time I fly on a plane or I'm riding on a long road trip. I sleep the entire time. I sit down, I plug in my music, and I'm out until the ride is over.
I envy you. I truly do. I wish I could.
If I'm tired, I will literally sleep anywhere.
Oh, I can sleep anywhere, but I can't do that. On a plane, no. Do you remember
what is a plane?
What is a plane?
What are frogs?
What are frogs? I cannot find these pieces. Drugs? You doing the drugs?
Who's doing the
Who's doing
drugs?
drugs? Why aren't they sharing?
Did you bring enough for the class?
Giant metal birds.
What is a man?
What is a man? Man. A miserable little pile of secrets.
Enough talk.
I have
I really want to get fucking DieMonster.wmv as like a soundbite.
Good.
It'd be funny.
I could show you how we do our sound bites, and then you could probably find the Die Monster one.
Yeah, and then it can not function for like 3 months.
It's so true.
Sounds about
it's
right.
Painful. We gotta figure this out.
Figure what out?
So we, these pieces.
Oh, yeah. I'm
Can't.
slowly just like connecting pieces down here off the board.
I mean, that's fair.
I'm making connections.
Making connections, getting things together, building bridges.
Indeed.
Speaking of building bridges, boy, there is a game entirely about building bridges that isn't a bridge constructor simulator that I know very little about. And and the bits that I know about the game just make me more confused. And that's Death Stranding.
Alright, yeah. I can understand that.
I don't fully know what to think of it. Nothing I have heard of the game has sounded cohesive. Because on the one part, it's like, you're a delivery man. And it's like, okay, your delivery man has to deal with weights. But you also have to fight ghosts with blood. It's like, what? What's that got to do about being delivery man?
Kojima?
Hideki Jumbo.
Do we need to say anything more other than Kojima?
Hello, Cylops.
Hey, Cylops.
He's jumped in to say hello to everybody. He's everywhere.
It is. Well, no, I'm just saying hello because obviously you said hello.
Ah.
It was a reflexive hello, you see.
Oh, it's...
A defensive hello. I say hello in defense mode.
I put my hello in attack mode.
Nom 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 nom. What are we eating, Gray?
What are we eating, Gray? Why are we eating Gray?
Pokemon battles
Sorry,
on motorcycles. Hello, go around the board. Do not pass go. Collect £200.
Yes, collect 200 pounds on your motorcycle card game. Can I just say that, like,
nice.
For British
love
Monopoly, do they change it from dollars to pounds?
They probably do.
No, because it's all fake, isn't it? It's not a real. It's not. It's not a real currency, so it's called dollars.
I mean, you say that, but people have used it for real currency before. I mean, they've used it as counterfeit, but still.
Yeah.
Man, I wish a motherfucker would.
Well, I mean, what about the?
That would be funny, and I would throw them out of the store.
Well, what about the Is it the $2 bill?
$2 bill is still legal tender.
Yeah, it is, but people still think it's counterfeit.
Oh yeah, they do. And anytime we get them at my store, I go and tell my manager about it because she collects them.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's gonna get in trouble for that one, Gray.
And apparently, according to her, like, saving a bunch of $2 bills is actually a really good way to save money. Because, like,
I mean, it's true of any bill.
Yeah.
So long as you don't say
just
anything.
pick a bill and start saving that one.
As long as you don't say anything specifically on your stream, muted on others, I will hear well. That is fair. Yeah, I don't typically mute myself unless there's a conversation going on and I need to talk to my chat. Like, I get a raid, I've done it last time. I got raided and I'm like, I kind of need to acknowledge the raid. That all three streams audio on at once. That's not going to be great.
That's gonna be a mess.
I hope that the background music isn't too distracting.
Are we all playing background music?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I have Monster Cat Gold, so I can use Monster Cat music in the background, but only certain tracks, but they don't tell you which ones.
I've built a playlist on YouTube, and it is wild and varied, from simple, nice rock and roll songs to the sounds of a man killing his piano while talking about cheese and death.
Or when you get in trouble. Gray, I don't mute whenever you're in trouble. You're never in trouble. What are you talking about? Now I imagine Gray's gonna try and get in trouble.
They're gonna go full goblin.
Yeah, mine is Arcane Anthems at the moment
Alright.
on Spotify. I enjoy their music.
I was listening to...
I'm always trouble when you... What are you talking about? What is trouble and how do I get into it?
Walls.
There are boobies. What?
Yep.
Yo, titties?
Bobs.
Bobs. There are buttons you can push, Scilabs, that can get you in trouble.
Yes, like the power button on your PC. That'll get you into a lot of trouble.
Press any button to start. Okay, turns off computer.
Breasts! Breasticles.
Breasticles.
Bazongas.
Bahanaga hoops.
Humongous honga longa manamagongas. I got this new anime plot.
There are two, and they are very
God's
dangly.
word.
Oh, my words make sense. That is true, though there are ones that are perky.
Oh boy. I can't wait for Trinky to come back for us to be talking about Bobs.
Nice. What a time for Trinky to fucking show up, honestly.
Yeah.
Bed bobs
Speaking
and boomsticks.
Bobs and boomsticks. Speaking
I
about
imagine
things,
you have no idea what I was
now have a
talking
new
about.
name for my dick.
You do what? I feel like I'm suddenly in danger.
You're always in danger if you're within proximity to me.
I love these conversations. These are enjoyable streams.
They really are. They're a good time. They're chaos, but fun chaos.
We love chaos.
Yes, chaos, chaos, chaos.
Haha, I'm in danger.
Yeah. Anywho, speaking of chaos and things, and technically a conversation docket, even though we don't really have one today.
No docket.
No docket. I wanna talk about something near and dear to me. My true pastime. The great sport of blaseball.
Blaseball?
Yes, blaseball.
Just blaze?
Yep, BLASEBALL. That's not a speech impediment, that is actually what it's called. And boy, does Google really want to make sure you're like, are you sure you're not talking about baseball? No, I'm not. I'm not. It is a simulation sport of the great game of baseball, but it is sort of controlled by like a Twitch chat, if that makes sense.
Oh god.
Oh god, the games itself are simulated with the players that each have their own stats and things like that. Mind you, the stats of a baseball player are not regular stats. Because you have
great. Since you asked so nicely, I will. Okay, hang on.
Uh-oh.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Hey, Max.
You're in trouble.
Ah! Why? Why did you go for the one specific spot? That doesn't work. I jumped because you grabbed me right on the bob.
Did I grab you on the bob?
You did. You went for the purple
you're a
nurple.
liar. Fake news.
Bob attack! Bob attack!
Bob
Help!
attack.
Help that man!
Ah.
Can't. He's already dead.
Oh no, we're too late, chat!
It's done.
Hi, Ghost Mox.
Oh, fine. Sorry, Max. Continue about baseball.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about Blaze Ball. Anywho, so stats for players don't make sense. How do you tell one who is good at hitting a ball? Well, you test their buoyancy, their divinity, their martyrdom, their moxie, their musculitude, patheticism, thwackability, and tragicness.
Well, Moxie, I could understand.
I love how being more buoyant makes you better at batting. On the flip side, for throwing the ball, ruthlessness, overpowerment, unthwackability, Shakespeareanism, suppression, and coldness.
Shakespeareanism?
Shakespeareanism. What is Shakespeareanism? Appears to counter batter buoyancy and converts flyouts to groundouts. That's what that entire stat is for Shakespeareanism.
Okie dokie.
For testing a player's ability to run the bases. Base thirst, laser likeness, continuation, ground friction, and indulgence. How to tell if one is good at stopping somebody from reaching the bases. You test their anti-capitalism, chastness, omniscience, tenaciousness, and watchfulness. And lastly, there are some miscellaneous stats for the characters, such as their peanut allergy, whether they are or not,
I thought you were going to say
cinnamon and
something else then.
pressurization, their soul, and their fate.
I totally thought you were going to say something else there.
That peanut allergy one in particular is a big one, because that didn't start becoming a problem until until the audience, I should say, the players actually playing the game, not like the baseball players, because talking about people now, not these monsters that are the players themselves. They are all monsters, and I love them. They have caused so many problems for the sport. The first thing they did, the very first thing that the players ever did when they got into the game of Blaseball, is they were given a couple of options to change the game, and they chose, after being warned a dozen times, to open the forbidden Blaseball rulebook. And while it taught us more things about the game, it also summoned a peanut god.
Peanut!
Peanut. And then that peanut god was pissed because we broke the rules.
But he won't stop whacking me in the face. Oh
what
no.
followed was a thing where players were able to purchase strange little side snacks, okay? One such side snack was actually a bag of peanuts. People figured out how to create an infinite number of peanuts and an infinite negative number of peanuts. Okay? That really didn't please this peanut god, who demanded all of these things be fixed within a certain time frame, which naturally it didn't. So what the peanut god did is it went over and started actually striking down the Blaseball players and putting them encased in actual giant peanut shells. And from there on, a new weather system was created where peanuts would rain from the sky, and if a player was allergic to peanuts and they happened to swallow a stray peanut during a game, they would go into anaphylactic shock and their stats would go down stupidly. Alright?
So I need to respond to Gray quickly. Gray, you need to tame the pussy.
Is their kitty taking their chair again?
Apparently her pussy won't stop whacking her in the face.
Ah, I see.
Never.
There is just, oh god, there are so much crazy things. So one of the other crazy things with Blaseball is there was a rule that didn't make a whole lot of sense, where if a team won 3 seasons in a row, the team would quote unquote ascend, whatever the fuck that meant, right? And it took like 10 seasons for a team to finally get to that point, okay? There were a couple of them, including my favorite team, the Hades Tigers, that got close to it, but they couldn't quite do it until the Baltimore Crabs ended up finally stealing the 3rd game. But they stole the 3rd game at a bad time. because the Peanut God was still pissed, and it just kept getting angrier and angrier at player things. Till finally it had enough, and it made its own Blaseball team called the Shelled Ones, from stealing the top players that were all encased in peanuts and making their own team about it. And whoever won those seasons after it did that would have to face this team, and they each got utterly destroyed by this peanut team, completely tore down. It actually took a season, or an entire team newly formed of all the actual dead players of the game, because after I think the third season, a weird event would happen where there would be a solar eclipse over the Blaseball games, and it would turn the umpires and fill them with phenomenal cosmic energy, and they would start incinerating players on the fucking field.
Oh dear.
And so from there, an entire team called the Hall Stars, because it became the Hall of Flame, is where all the dead players went to, got formed and fought off the Peanut team, and ended up kicking their ass at the cost of some of their eternal souls. And after that was done, the Baltimore Crabs, who had actually won their third champion, ascended into wherever they went, and a new team showed up called the Tokyo Lifts. Okay? The Baltimore Crabs would come back, like almost a season later, because a new option appeared where the players were able to make a stadium for them. Like, you could make a stadium for your team and you could vote on stuff. And the Crabs went too far. By quote-unquote, breaking too much ground, again, whatever that means, they ended up tunneling from whatever dimension they had went to, broke through the fabrics of reality, and poured through a portal of immateria into the world, and tore 3 other teams that were all ascended down onto the land, and flooded the world with immateria. And immateria storms became a problem as they were just hitting fields, and they would sweep players away to other realities. And sometimes they would come back, sometimes they wouldn't.
It is sounding more and more like an anime.
You have no freaking idea, dude. It's ridiculous. During all of this, after the Peanut team got defeated, a giant squid called the Monitor, that had been sort of just kind of watching things and been following a player that the players had brought back to life. Because apparently if you idolize a certain player and put enough stats into it and then make them, what was it? You make them a certain rank, give them enough popularity, you could actually make them viable for putting them onto a team, which would bring them... Dude, there's like 20 seasons of this. You could bring a player back from the dead, but they would come back to life and they would have a debt that they would have to pay. And while they were doing that, they would have the ability to start incinerating players to kind of make up for the fact that they had unlife. And the first player and the most prominent player who had this was a player by the name of Jalen Hot Dog Fingers, who was under like scrutiny because, you know, for one, they were a zombie playing baseball and they were killing people. And then they would die themselves, and then they would play as a skeleton for the Hawaii Fridays, which is good for them because the Hawaii Fridays are quite resistant to fire. Not as much as the Hades Tigers, who literally eat fire.
Well, why are we dead, Gray? And no dying on
my story.
Maybe, but no dying on my stream, please.
Anywho, so the Monitor actually ate the Peanut God. He's just like, oh, hey, a peanut, and he ate it, and consumed it entirely. And then he got a job as a fry cook at the stadium for some reason. And then a giant... Huh?
It was to pass the time.
Maybe I won.
I guess so.
Nose.
Then a giant coin showed up, and it was like, I'm now the person in charge of Blaseball. And they started making all these monetary changes where there was a coin system, a betting system, and stuff like that, and you could make money and buy snacks that would give you more money to do stuff with. And that was fun for a season until the economy started causing more problems.
An economy causing problems? Say it ain't
yeah,
so.
Well, because the stadiums became an ever-present thing where during certain bouts in between seasons, you could collectively as a team, or fans of a team, donate the money that you are making within the game, and make changes and renovations to your stadium. Well, everybody got this cool idea of like, oh, we're going to put this sick sound system inside of our stadiums. Unfortunately, it fucked with an entity that was also monitoring things called the microphone that would show up and just spout cryptic shit. And its static effect spread across the entire Blaseball world and staticked people and turned them all into a dead player named Wyatt Mason. And it became known as the Wyatt Masoning. And then there was an instance where there were like 25 of them, and then some of them got somewhat fixed, and they became less Wyatt Masons, until there was only 2 Wyatt Masons. And then, when those Wyatt Masons would encounter each other on the Blaseball field, they would cancel each other's existence out, and they would static away. Just, there they go! Which is really sad, because like my first favorite Blaseball player fell into that one. Wyatt Quitter, I will miss you. They were great. They got
No,
they got
Silence.
Another problem is all of this weight that was coming down from all of the greed and purchasing that was going on was actually weighing down all of reality and tipping reality downwards into a plane of existence where creatures called consumers existed, which are like otherworldly sharks you could think of, and they would appear out of nowhere and they would just take chunks of players out. Like they would take their arm or their leg or just straight up maul them, and the chances of that were entirely based on how dense a player's soul was, which is really unfortunate for a particular player. I don't remember his name. He had a silly name. Let's see here. Yes, Chorby Soul. Chorby Soul had the densest soul in all of Blaseball. It was just ridiculously dense. So dense, in fact, that by themselves, they would tip their team so far down that they were constantly being just mauled by sharks. Let's see here. What other fun, crazy shit happened in Blaseball? Because there was a lot of fun and crazy shit that happened in Blaseball. Oh, the Hades Tigers, shortly after the re-emergence of the Baltimore Crabs, won their 3rd season. But because they could no longer ascend, because the Crabs broke through reality, a new thing came into place where they evolved entirely as a team and took on more animalistic traits based on the team that they were a part of, which I can only imagine would have happened to some of the other teams, like the LA Unlimited Tacos, or Infinite Tacos, yeah, Infinite Tacos.
Ohio
I can only imagine what happened to them if they evolved, but that's not what happened. It ended up going to the Tigers, and they got this ability called Ambush, which made them all tiger-like and allowed them to, when a player dies during a game that they're in, they get to resurrect somebody from the Hall of Flame, which is kind of messed up because that just causes more problems from, necromancy on the Blaseball field. And the Crabs ended up getting crab shells and made them harder to kill, but not really. The Hades Tigers got fire blood at one point. That was cool. I really like that. Blood is a weird thing in Blaseball. Your blood can be stolen from you during a Blaseball game, which is hilarious and terrifying. Just like imagine on like a baseball field, baseball diamond, it's like a runner is trying to get to second base, and then the guy who's defending it just reaches their hand out and just like siphons all of your blood from your body, and it's like, Jesus Christ. And all it is a negative status effect.
Hello, Alpha.
It ended up having a weird effect actually on one of the players on the Hades Tigers though, because they were made out of water and they had plastic skin. So they went from being a water bottle to a Molotov cocktail. They ended up becoming my next favorite baseball player. Oh yeah, they also broke all of reality, like straight up.
mean-
There became this battle between a fortune teller and the coin for kind of fixing things, because the fortune teller figured out that the coin was actually collapsing reality under the weight of capitalism and was creating radical changes to the system that was creating things like negative unwins to balance out the normal wins, negative unruns on a run to follow up a run to level things out on itself. If this sounds confusing, it's because it was.
Oh, it sounds perfectly reasonable.
And what ended up happening is a giant grid suddenly showed up in the form of a baseball diamond that showed different planes of existence. One of which being a field of cactuses, one of which having the Hall of Flame, one of which having a giant safe, which ended up having some nefarious purposes. The top MVPs of Blaseball were getting locked away inside of the safe for their own protection, and voodoo dolls channeling their soul could suddenly be purchased from the gift shop onto a team, but they would only have a lifespan of about one season. So after that season would end, the voodoo doll would just collapse and die, which led into some terrible things because that player was still viable for team trading. So some teams would coordinate to purchase a voodoo doll of somebody and trade that voodoo doll for an actual player, and the other team would get stuck with a voodoo doll that would have like a couple days left to live. It's really unfortunate.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's fucked up. It's really fucked up. Oh, there were two detectives that were trying to solve a murder mystery, but they could only solve the murder mystery when they were in between games, so they had to hope for their games to end sooner than later. And it also turned out that they could only do it while they were working together, which is unfortunate because they very quickly got separated to different teams, so they weren't really good at their job. Until voodoo dolls became available for purchase of them, because they got sent into the vault, where at which people bought voodoo dolls of them, put them onto their teams, and then not only were the two of them solving problems, but when the consumers would swim up to try and consume them, they started doing fucking wrestling moves to these otherworldly sharks. It's just like in the middle of a baseball game, just here comes a shark, and then these guys would like catch the shark, grab them, jump into a cannon, fire themselves out of the cannon, and then drop the shark on its fucking face. It was ridiculous.
Hey, Sekman, how's it going? Welcome in, my son.
There was also a cursed item like the ring from Lord of the Rings. It was a mysterious item called the Fifth Base. That its existence, when placed down in any one particular stadium, actually created a fifth baseball plate that players had to run. You know, because you have first, second, third, and then home, which is 4. And then with this new one, you had to go to wherever that one was before you could make it home, which caused all sorts of problems. And it also had this weird,
I can imagine,
calling effect where players would be tempted by its existence to go and try and collect it and then carry it away. One person put it on the ground, picked it up, put it on the ground, picked it up and put it on the ground before leaving it. Another person from a different stadium like grabbed a spoon and tunneled from that stadium all the way to the other stadium where the fifth base was, stole the base, and then tunneled their way back. And then another person stole it and then got swept away by Immateria, and they were never seen again, and that ended up taking the fifth base out entirely.
huh.
Another player
Happy to be here.
got
Good to
trapped
hear, man.
by their blood type and could not stop fouling balls.
Whoops.
Which is a ridiculous sentiment that one's own blood could trap themselves in such a perpetual state of fouling balls for hours. But it happened.
And that sucks, segment. Depression is no joke, man.
Depression is no joke. Not a fun time.
No.
No.
Hopefully we can lighten your mood and make your day a little better.
Yeah. I'm just gonna finish off this thing by saying, baseball's in a weird spot right now because the last season, a black hole ripped open after we killed capitalism, and it started to consume the game, including the rules of the game. And so people ended up taking refuge in other places, except probably a surprise problematic team, Snoo's favorite baseball team, the Ohio Worms.
Worms.
Oh my god. The psychos saw the black hole and were like, worms, hole, worms, hole, wormhole, and dug into it. It became a cosmic plague, sucking other teams into the black hole, telling them to join the worms in the wormhole. Oh god.
One with the worm.
Uh-huh. The worm. And they got a couple of teams, though. One of the teams just dove straight in, and that was the not Miami Dale. Or is it Miami Dale? Yeah, it is Miami Dale. The Dale, because they heard there was a party going on in the wormhole, and the Dale is famous for partying because they're one of the worst teams ever. And whenever a team loses so early on in the season, they just start partying. So the Dale were like, party! Party in the wormhole! Yeah! And then jumped into a fucking black hole.
I mean, better than at the Taco Bell, right?
I suppose so.
Because they weren't starting fires.
They weren't. And they really couldn't. Not with the Chicago firefighters as a team.
That's feral. You've missed the whole thing, Zach.
Mox, I feel like you should just list off all of the baseball teams.
Okay, I could do that. I like the baseball teams. They're in different categories. There's the mild-low category of teams, the Canada Moist Talkers, the Charleston Shoe Thieves, the Hawaii Fridays, the Kansas City Breathmints, the Yellowstone Magic, and the Baltimore Crabs. Then there's mild high, the Dallas Steaks, the New York Millennials, the Philly Pies, the San Francisco Lovers, the Seattle Garages, which is Chalk's favorite team, and the Core Mechanics. The Wild Highs, the Hades Tigers, my boys, the Chicago Firefighters, the Breckenridge Jazz Hands, Mexico City Wild Wings, Tokyo Lift, the Atlantis Georgias, the Wild Low, which consists of the Boston Flowers, the Hellmouth Sunbeams. I love the Sunbeams. The Houston Spies, the Miami Dale, the Unlimited Tacos, and the Ohio Worms. And then there was a little bit where there were two surprise teams after two entire teams got incinerated by supernova umpires. Where it was a dog team and then a jewel team. And I don't remember them because they were only for one season, and they were just kind of thrown into this mess. It was honestly like Baby suddenly appeared in the middle of a war zone, and we're just like, ah!
It sounds chaotic.
It really was. It is something to behold. Currently, they're in between everything right now because I think reality has to fix itself somehow after the way everything ended, where everything got consumed by a black hole, except for the people who made it to the vault and the people who made it to the Hall of Flame, because the Hall of Flame people died. And then, I mean, they died because they hid inside the underworld. And I don't actually know if that protected them or not. Does being dead save you from the heat death of the universe?
No.
Hard to say. And then there was another group of people who took shelter inside of the giant vault. Whether or not that worked or not is also unclear. Nobody went for the desert. I don't think anybody thought the desert was going to be safe.
Probably not.
I'm hearing an echo of myself for some reason.
Do you have the multis up?
I
As a
do.
reminder, chat,
Reality, simply.
exclamation mark multi. The three of us are streaming, so...
I mean, you literally stepped inside the Hall of Flame and then you died instantly. Just, but like it wasn't. It didn't seem like it was painful. Everybody seemed fine. They were still playing baseball games right after they stepped in, so maybe it wasn't too bad to be dead.
Maybe.
It was like, honestly, it was kind of like just getting a status effect of death. I mean, it was.
You continue playing baseball.
Well, they also stole. There was a big heist during that because they ended up stealing like 5 teams that were previously locked away inside of the Hall of Flame that we found out from unearthing the histories and the hidden lore using salmon to find out things. Why were we using salmon?
Why not?
Because salmon existed in the Immateria as beings of time. And you could literally use a salmon to fix the past to minor degrees. Mostly what this was used for was maintenance. They would just take a salmon, go over to something that was broken or damaged, rub it on the thing that was broken and damaged, and it would revert back to a time of its existence before it was broken. This didn't solve the problem, it delayed the problem, but like, that was the best you were gonna get in this. Not like anybody in Blaseball was really an engineer of some sort, because if we were, we would have never set up grind rails between stadium parks.
Hey, you know what you're talking about? That sounds entirely practical.
Oh, it was super fun. It was really cool, especially when people were doing sick tricks on the thing. They would also get injured because not everybody has the coordination to do that.
Someone is blasting their music out of their car.
Is it you?
No.
Anywho, Blaseball, yeah, Blaseball. If you missed it,
Jesus
there are
Christ.
lots of videos that document it. It'd be well worth checking out. And if you didn't, what was your favorite team? Balls. Anywho, that was a thing I wanted to talk about.
And talk about it, you did.
I did.
I think you were right about making a mistake with doing this puzzle. 2 blue. All of the blue.
All of the blue. Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna get through that, but we're gonna figure it out. Anything you'd like to talk about, Keronzi?
Not that I can think of.
Let's see.
Nothing
How
as
about you, Sue?
impassioned as you.
Sorry, I had to mute my microphone because the people outside turned their music up louder, and I have no idea how copyrighted that music is, so I decided to mute my mic just to be safe.
Ah, fair enough.
Probably very copyrighted.
You think his cam is frozen?
Oh,
Keronzi,
my camera is frozen. It's only with this
Yeah.
frickin' game.
You're frozen in a very neutral expression.
No giant worms today, Mr. Ronzi. No.
Giant worms.
Okay, I think the people blasting their fucking music fucked off.
Camera, we good?
Think so.
Stay. What was I
Is there
playing that had
anything you-
giant worms? Sec.
Oh, worm?
Oh, worm?
No, Sec said something about giant worms. Hi,
I
Gray.
mean, it can be. We're into that.
What- I don't even know what to say to that, Snoop.
Wait. Oh, gee, my camera froze again. What the hell?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Is this some
Kinda funny.
English, French wacky translation? Would you accept me saying yes, Gray?
I have to find this
Liar.
weird green patch.
I tell no lie.
You speak only the truth. Oh! Hello, important.
Roar. That
Thank you
one's
for the
not
raid
that
and thank you
great.
for the sub.
Slap. You slapping me now? Hey, sub hype.
I should make raid emotes. It's a good idea.
Raid emotes.
Yeah,
Man, wait, were you raided?
I was.
Hey, raid hype.
Raid
Welcome
hype.
in. Hello, raiders.
Hello,
I missed
everybody.
my-
You just missed my rant about a funny baseball game.
Oh, Dynamo's Terror Time, yeah. I don't know what really happened with Dynamo. I assume he's just wanting a break from everything.
Talking about Tom.
Yes.
Hey, I found the spot that piece goes to. I can absolutely say I have placed only 3 pieces so far today.
I haven't placed any pieces on the board. I've just been here just, you know, chillaxing, trying to
I placed
place
like
things.
a handful, but then my brain decided to turn off, and I wanted to organize the pieces.
I hope you're feeling better, important. That sucks. His tummy's not feeling good.
Oh no,
That's not a fun time right there.
it's not.
No. Oh yeah, for sure, sec. Like, always take the time that you need. Mental health is far more important than streaming.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, always.
You have a good one. Why do I salute? No one can see me salute, yet I do it every time. Oh yeah.
But when you do cam,
Will I, Cam? I don't think so.
no.
Nah, I don't.
You have no idea how often I've tried to convince him to get a camera.
Oh no, I mean
Don't
that's
wanna
fair.
do it.
If I get a camera and they see me, I'm gonna drive everyone insane from simply looking at me.
I mean, I'd say the same about me, yet people still come back.
Well, yeah, cultists exist for a reason.
Ah, gee, I crashed again.
Oh no! We have acknowledged
No, the
your
cult magic was
existence.
Too strong.
Oh,
As a future psych uni student, I can affirm it is very important. Yes.
Gray wants to know why you don't have a cam, Snoop.
Me? Oh, I hate my face. That's why.
I don't hate your face.
I hate my face.
I think your face.
I
is
also
wonderful.
am not expressive at all, so having a camera wouldn't mean anything. Like, I make no facial reactions 90% of the time.
Don't you use the PNG?
I've debated on like making a PNG tuber. Problem, I
Yeah.
have to make it first.
True. Camera cannot take so much handsomeness.
That's why the camera's breaking down.
I don't know
It's
who
like the
you're looking
reverse
at.
of a
so-
broken mirror. It's the mirror can't handle the reflection and locks up. Like a black hole, where you look at something that's been taken into a black hole and it appears to have just been stuck in place,
Like
not
a worm.
moving, like a worm. Wormcast.
Well, wouldn't that be when what happens after a supernova?
It's
a
it's a
dense
phenomenon
point
that
of
happens.
gravity.
It's a phenomenon that happens to things that are also being pulled into a black hole. There comes a point when they get closer to being actually sucked in that if you're observing them, they appear to have been like suspended in time. They just like are locked up. When in actuality, they're long since gone.
Yeah, they've already passed the event horizon.
Yeah. Just crushing. I'm looking at a ginger man. I mean, that is fair, you are.
Your eyes are in fact working.
Is man, is ginger, correct.
His man is ginger.
What is a man?
What is a man?
What is a man? Oh, Dracula.
Oh, Dracula. Alright. Because I know you've played it, Keronzi.
Hey, ginger man.
What is your
What is a ginger?
What's your favorite Castlevania game?
Ooh. That's a very good question.
And does your favorite Castlevania game have your favorite Castlevania character?
I think the answer to that would be yes. No, it would be Dawn of Sorrow.
Dawn of Sorrow?
Yeah, that's the 3DS one, right?
Yes, that's the
sequel to Aria.
Yes, that is the
Yeah.
sequel to Aria.
Yeah, so it's Dawn of Sorrow, and my favorite character... Oh, actually, no, would it?
Oh.
I think that one's my favorite because it's the one that, like, properly got me into the series.
Fair enough.
Like, I mean, I played some of the other ones. I played Symphony of the Night and stuff like that. And my camera's frozen.
Oh no.
And I enjoyed Symphony of the Night a lot. But I enjoyed the mechanics for... for Dawn of Sorrow. For Dawn of Sorrow is a lot better. A lot more. But I'm actually thinking on it. No, it is the Order of Ecclesia.
Oh ho.
Is the one that I liked the most, to be honest.
Why is that?
The kind of the medieval, the storyline, the setting was enjoyable. And actually, the main character in, I forget her name, but the main character in that one was my favorite character. I played Harmony of Dissonance, and that was the first character that I would use, or it was Soma.
Ah, so you have played that one.
I have played that one, I've got that one. For fuck's sake, the camera!
Camera just doesn't want to cooperate today.
No, I'm very tempted to actually put on my PNG that I've got.
Oh ho.
Purely so I can just stop doing this. Having to like deactivate and reactivate the camera.
Mine is absolutely Aria of Sorrow, actually. And because
Ah.
Soma is my boy.
I like Soma.
Soma Cruz is awesome.
Soma these nuts.
Soma is nuts. And like the whole soul thing is just a very fun mechanic.
You can turn off cam if you need. I promise not to scare you rest of the stream. No, it's fine. It's frustrating that this is the only game that it seems to be having an issue with. It might actually just be having an issue with the PC itself, because the only other stuff I've streamed since having this camera has been Xbox or console related games. You are good, Graydon, don't worry.
Yeah, Gray's gotta work on packing.
Packing the Kraken.
Packing the Kraken. Alright, Snoo. Same question to you, though I know that your experience with Castlevania is a lot more limited.
I've never really played the Castlevania game. Like, I've played the one that you mentioned before for like a few minutes, and that's it. Otherwise, I've never played Castlevania games.
Which, Mochimajigga, the Alucard one, Symphony of the Night.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think most people have played Symphony of the Night.
It is the popular one.
Indeed.
For good reason.
Indeed. Though I probably would say that it's not really a Fuck's sake, it's not really a Castlevania game. But Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night, is also very good.
That's basically the spiritual successor right there.
Yeah.
And all the Bloodstained games are really fun.
I want to go back and try and actually properly play the Whatchamajigga one. You know what I'm talking about? That one.
Yes, that one.
The prequel ones.
Oh yeah. The 2D ones.
Yes.
Yes. Got those ones on my Switch.
I kickstarted that game.
Oh, nice. I had some friends who did that. I myself did not, mainly because I am a poor boy.
Me and one of my mods were part of the Kickstarter.
Nice. Oh, did you have to restart the game?
Who was restarting the game and what now?
Because I just got a notification that you're just now playing puzzles.
Oh, I got a notification that you were just
sometimes
playing.
it just does that.
Oh. Any games that you guys are looking forward to lately?
The new Pokemon. Now. No, not... For God's sake, you.
It did it again, didn't it?
I mean, yeah, it's just gonna keep doing it.
PNG time?
PNG time. I mean, if I do that...
Keronzi is going flat.
Okay, it's doing that, that's fine. Now I've got to find the PNG.
Who are you going to be round or are you going to be flat?
Aim flight.
You're going to be flat, okay. Flat and you like a pancake. Here I go, gonna do it.
What am I looking for? Image.
Flat and you like a pancake. Ooh. Here we go.
I am not flat.
They are not flat. I know there's a game I'm looking forward to that came out today.
No.
Yes, Card Sharks.
Oh, that did come out today.
It did, and I've already purchased it.
There we go.
It was a neat game.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
are now PNG.
You are now PNG. Let me see what a PNG look like. Oh hey! He's all eldritch and armored out.
It is Endymion. Oh, it's me cosplaying as Endymion the Master Magician. If you know your Yu-Gi-Ohs.
I do know my Yu-Gi-Ohs, but I don't know all the cards.
That is fair. There is a lot of cards.
There was. I had the number a while ago. I'm gonna Google it again. There are over 12,000 different cards.
That's a lot of cards!
A lot of cards to remember.
You just left with cards!
Hey, Fumbles. Hey,
Hello,
Fumbles,
hello,
we're talking
hello.
about Yu-Gi-Oh! I missed the season. I missed the entire season last month. I didn't even do anything from it, and I'm sad.
Season?
I'm quite the competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Player.
Oh, you meaning
He's
the
good at card game.
I do.
Yeah, I haven't played that game.
You should. It's a great time to, especially with things like Master Duel and stuff out. God, I love Master Duel.
Yeah, that's why I haven't played Master Duel.
Hey.
Hey! Hey! Oh,
Hey!
Hey, I'm walking here.
Here,
Oh.
he's getting a deck list. I see. Oh, speaking of which, did I tell you about the cool rarity I got?
Who was that directed at?
You guys, mostly you.
Then no.
I actually, about a week and a half ago or so, got a ghost rare.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a crazy thing to behold. I got it with the Red Dragon Archfiend. Like, it genuinely, when you tilt it in certain directions, when the hollow is not reflecting, the card art vanishes.
Yeah.
It's very
Nice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying to get more, but that's proven to be difficult since the card market is still being scalped.
cool. Yeah.
Streamers do be buying.
Mm-hmm.
I've thought of picking up boxes to do, but it's like The ones that if you're doing that, you want to be doing the Pokemon because they're the ones that are worth the most.
Yeah, if you're doing it for money, I guess. But I do it for the fact that I like the cards.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like if you're getting them to open on stream, you're doing it for the money. It'll be real.
I just like to have my nice big collection because I would like to play IRL. There's just not much of a IRL scene where we are. In fact, I'm pretty sure me and my friends a couple years ago were the only people around here who were really playing the game.
Yeah.
Like, we went to the tournaments and stuff around here, and there's just no tournament scene. We were the only entries.
Yeah, that is kind of rough.
Sag.
Edge. That's okay though. You know what I've also been thinking about, Snoo?
What?
Been thinking. I have been genuinely considering trying to start up Yugs again.
Do it.
We would need Jordan for it though.
Then get him. Pester him. Pester him.
Yes. Jordan, I need you to run this thing because I want to do the thing again.
Jordan, can you run your tournament again so I can win?
Jordan, please let me run and win your tournament.
What deck were you
never
running?
did get me the second prize on that. That's fine though. I don't think I really need the second prize on that.
What was that, Keronzi?
What was your main deck?
What was my main deck? My main deck was, at the time, a Gravekeeper deck. What it is now is mostly hand traps.
Oh, fuck. They're annoying
I know.
as fuck.
I know. It's a pretty disgusting thing. I think I got it next to me. Yeah, is this the one that I put cards in, or is this the one I didn't? This is the one I put the cards in, but I don't think my deck's actually in this thing. Oh, wait, no. That might be it right there. It is, I can tell because of the very unique card sleeves I put on this thing. I found some very dumb card sleeves on Amazon, and I had to get them for my hand trap deck because it was Astolfo from Fate, and it's them and the Dark Magician Girl outfit, and it just says it's a trap.
Well,
It
I
fits
mean,
perfectly for it.
yeah, you're not wrong. Did you in your Gravekeeper? Were you running the Gravekeeper's Visionary?
Don't remember. I'm gonna look at that card real quick, and I'll be able to know real fast. Gravekeeper Visionary. No, actually, I was not. No, I was not.
Is it now? I'm going to be testing my own knowledge here. Isn't that because you're looking at it right now? Isn't that it allows you to return to your hand or return to the field a card from your graveyard, I think.
No. So what this thing does is you can summon this card by tributing a Gravekeeper monster, just one. This card gains 200 attack for each Gravekeeper monster in your graveyard, and if this face-up card would be destroyed, you can discard one Gravekeeper monster instead.
Right, okay, yeah, that was it.
I remember Gravekeeper Spy and Gravekeeper's Descendant, especially for the ability to just blow things up with the Descendant, which was nice. I abused
the Descendant was basically just Merrick.
The Descendant was not actually. It's the Gravekeeper Supernaturalist that was Merrick. Or no, the Supernatural Supercora. You're right. The Descendant was Merrick. Because I'm thinking Merrick Ishtar. I was thinking of a card, or not Merrick Ishtar. My bad. My apologies. But I did run the Supernaturalists. I also was cheeky, and on the side, besides the Supernaturalists, I was also running Quintet Magician, because it occurred to me while looking over at the Gravekeepers that almost all of them are spellcasters. And the Quintet Magician's summon requirement is 5 spellcasters, and if they each have different names, it board wipes.
That's disgusting.
Oh, it's absolutely disgusting. And I would set up, let me see, what was it? I would have, of course, the Gravekeeper field card, which is entirely what the whole thing runs on. I don't remember what it is. It's like the Gravekeeper Valley or something like that. And that thing locks down the graveyard. Then there is a spell card that makes it so that both players cannot special summon. But I would activate that after doing my special summoning. So I'd have my things out there, and then you would be slow to retaliate.
No, there's a Gravekeeper that allows you to continue special summoning. Even with that card in effect.
To a point. Necro Valley, that's what that thing's called. Then I would also have the trap card. What the heck was it called? No, it wasn't that one though. I didn't run that thing. Oh, there it is. Necro Valley Temple. I also run Necro Valley Temple. While a Gravekeeper monster and Necro Valley are on the field, all monsters your opponent control lose 500 attack and defense. And during my main phase, if I do not control a field zone card, I can activate 1 Necro Valley from my hand or graveyard. If this card is destroyed by your opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard, I can set 1 Necro Valley or trap or spell from my deck, except Necro Valley Temple.
Yeah.
So I just so many ways of sustaining the actual main thing of Necro Valley Temple. And then there is.
I don't think I had Necro Valley Temple.
It was a fun time with that thing. And then the Supernaturalist and his effects. I just really like the deck. It was a fun time. It ended up winning me the tournament. I want to actually build my Amazoness deck, because all I have is a digital form of it, and that's going to be a slow-going process, because it's not like Amazoness are readily available.
No, that's true.
And if
I was to play, I would 100% want to recreate my the deck that I actually use it in real life.
You should be able to.
Yeah, but it's finding where all of those cards are and then getting those cards.
Are you talking IRL or are you talking in games?
In game.
In game, that's actually a lot easier in Master Duel than you think. So, it functions on both a drawing system from booster packs, but also a crafting system.
Okay.
Where you can take cards you don't use, break them down, and then you can use those resources to make the cards you want. So it's not terribly difficult to get the things you want specifically. It's getting them from the booster packs that's a problem. However, you can find the packs that those cards are in. And then you are also able to actually get the hidden packs that they're dedicated in to that particular archetype to make your chances even better. Though that only gives you a 24-hour period with that once you find it to find them. Though if you get another one of those cards from that archetype, you get that hidden pack again. You can keep going.
Yeah,
So if you really just sit down to it, it's fairly possible.
Yeah, I mean, my main deck that I use is a spell counter.
Alright.
I had the The Arcanine Magician? Synchro Monster? Arcanine? Arcanine?
Arcanite Magician. Yeah, Arcanite Magician. When this card is synchro summoned, place 2 spell counters on it. This card gains 1,000 attack for each spell counter on it. You can remove 1 spell counter from inside the field to destroy 1 card your opponent controls.
Yeah. I had that, and I also had the Assault Mode Go version of it. Oh, did that? If that doesn't have the Assault Mode Go, you need to fuse that Arcanite Magician with another Magician. Oh no! It does have an Assault Mode.
Yeah, Arcanite Magician Assault Mode.
Yeah.
When this card cannot be normal special summon, except for Assault Mode activate. It gets 2 spell counters. It gains 1,000 for each thing. It has basically the same effect.
Yeah. And is this the fusion card that I had? Yeah, I had the Supreme Arcanite Magician, which is one synchro type. Yeah, one spellcaster synchro type and 1 spellcaster.
There it is. With special summon, it gets more counters, and it has the same thing, but when you do its thing, you get to draw a card. Blow up a card, draw a card.
No, you can do one of those effects. It's either select 1 card in the field and destroy it, or draw a card. But obviously...
Yeah, it says one on the field. Yep.
Yeah, obviously being with my current avatar being Endymion, the Master Magician, Endymion was in that deck, and he's fun. I mean, removing 7 spell counters from your side of the field allows you to summon him from anywhere.
Nice.
And in doing, I think at the end, if you do it that way, he can destroy a card or something.
I have not, but I will go and look at that right now. Tyrant Fusion. Hard to get a good look at it with the screenshot there.
So you can special summon this card from your hand or graveyard by removing 6 spell counters from the magical citadel of Endymion you control. If summoned this way, target 1 spell in your graveyard, add that target to your hand. Once per turn, you can destroy 1 spell card, then target 1 card on the field and destroy that target.
God, I love that trap card. The trap tricks. Ah, that's a good time right there. Well, I can't see all of the cards in that Fumbles. I do see a lot of stank in there. See plenty and plenty of stank. So that looks like very formidable.
What, on the Master Magician?
No, Fumbles shared, I have a specific, like, channel for Yu-Gi-Oh! In my Discord. And he shared a deck list that he's working on in Master Duel. And it's got some stank, as well as a lot of fun things that I recognize within there. From the Predaplant Anaconda, the Trap Tricks, don't remember what its full name is. Trap card. A lot of fusion monsters, as well as the polymerizations for it. A couple of ash blossoms, and then he's not quite done with it. He still needs to put a Lubellion and a Mirajade in there. But it's really coming along. It's kind of exciting. And I was trying to find the card that you were talking about, but then I got distracted.
Magical Citadel of Endymion.
It's Albion! And Albed. Okay. Card. Should make a dogmatic deck. I don't know why I don't. I like the dogmatic cards.
I just like the spell counter cards because like it forces players like, oh, do you really want to play that spell? You're just gonna power me?
One of my absolute favorite cards, and it's the one that I'm currently running on the thing that I'm doing in Master Duel, is Eldritch, the Golden Lord.
Isn't that like meta at the moment?
It sure is. I didn't know it was meta at the time when I did it.
Yeah, I mean I don't play the game, but yeah, I do know some of the some of what the meta is at the moment.
Yeah, no, admittedly, my Eldritch deck is kind of a jank deck, and I know it's a jank deck, but I have it built around not just, like, doing things. I've also got it built around more availability and options within of itself, because it is a combination of Shadow, Eldritch, and a little bit of Red Eyes. Though the Red Eyes is more for card fodder than anything, because it's really good about getting additional cards and possibly even monsters. It's a bonus effect, but for the most part, it's just ammunition for the Eldritch gun. Aliubert, that's what that one was. What do that one do again? I don't remember what Ghost Ogre do.
Yeah, if you've not used the Magical Citadel of Endymion, anytime a card that has spell counters on is destroyed, they're not lost. They just go to the Magical Citadel of Endymion. Like, hey, I see you got some spell counters there. Do you wanna pass them this way?
Yeah, throw them over here. That way you can store them up for your Wombo combos.
Oh yeah. And obviously having other cards that accrue spell counters as you play cards and Endymions, like you just double spell countering.
Counter on your counter.
Yo dog, heard you like spell counters.
Yeah. Also, I'm trying to get Snoo more into it. I've been trying to get them to help set up with a deck for a while now.
I am stubborn as a mule.
I mean, there's a panda deck.
Kills you. Kills you dead.
I are safe. For now.
DPE package, yeah. That looks like a monster. I'm gonna end up dueling that thing at some point, and I have a feeling it's gonna be fun for you, and not me. What I really want to get Snoo set up with, because I think they would like it, is either the Fur Hires or the what are they? The monstrous version of those things. The Fright First, there we go. They want to make a dog deck, however.
Dog
And I scratch my head at being like, okay, where do I start? The first thing that comes to mind is the wolf synchro monster. After that, it just like goes. Gray is going, join us, new one of us, one of us.
Doggy.
Now wait, Gray, you play Yu-Gi-Oh?
Gray do play Yu-Gi-Oh.
Ooh.
We could play the Yugs one day.
Dude.
He did ask that. He did, in fact, ask that. Where is this thing's going?
Bro, what the fuck? Okay, you're gonna tell me that I already knew that you did. I'm going to turn around and say my memory is like a sieve.
Blue Eyes Tyrant. I'm not familiar with that one. I'm gonna look at this and I'm gonna be like, oh, I actually know what this is, aren't I?
I am now guessing we
I'm
probably
not
have
actually
had
familiar with that
discussions on Yu-Gi-Oh before. I can't remember. My memory is utterly shite.
one. Oh, I should send this to Jesse.
I'm not going to ask for forgiveness because, yeah, I totally accept that my memory is crap. I agree, it's shy. I'll shove off Glenatron. How's it going, bro? Okay, do you remember that I'm trying to rebuild my deck? I vaguely recall that, Gray.
No, understandable, understandable.
You're all good? Am I? I'm doing alright, thanks, bro. I have a feeling my follow account might be going down.
No. We talked about the Yu-Gi-Oh! No!
No, the fact that I don't remember a discussion of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh, the real sin.
I'm gonna forgive you and go back to packing. Okay, great.
I get that. I don't. It crosses my mind constantly to do that very thing when making some of the other stuff I really want to make. I made a couple of decks for fun because I was like, oh, I enjoy these cards. I want to make a deck out of these. Later realizing what I actually want to play is some of this other stuff. I unfortunately don't remember your favorite card right off the top of my head, but I'm gonna guess Blue Eyes because everyone loves Blue Eyes, right?
Not everyone.
I'm one of those people who doesn't like Blue Eyes.
You know, for the amount that I love dragons,
Oh,
I actually don't like. That's it. Yeah, change of heart. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
It is legal.
It is now legal. Yeah, I remember actually telling you it is now a legal card. I am a fucking moron.
I was blown away when I saw that Change of Heart was finally a legal card. I was like, what is the state of Yu-Gi-Oh! That is fine. Isn't it a limited card, though?
No, it is not limited. It is... You can have 3 of them in your deck.
You can have 3?
It is not a limited card. It is fully legal. Now, you can go and check it if you want.
I thought it was under a limited use.
Nope. They made it full use, I believe. Bro.
No, they've been changed to limited.
Oh, is it changed to limited? Okay. Could I get the... I know I said I didn't want it, but would I be able to grab the shoulder carry for the Wii bot, for the Wii carry holder thing? Those dice are chunky as fuck, boy. I love them.
Dice.
Yeah, I'll turn the cam back on. For this.
What a time for me to have gotten a brain control from a legacy card pack as well.
Yeah, the camera's fucked again. What are these? You mean for the Switch? Yeah, for the Switch. I don't know what I said. Alright. There you go, Mox. Big ass skull dice.
Ooh.
I said the Wii. Fair enough.
Looking, it's hard to see. I saw them. There they are. There they are. Chunky.
Yeah,
That is cool.
they're heavy, aren't they? They're heavy. They make a huge racket, and like I'll roll them, and they hardly roll, so they're somewhat weighted.
I got something to show you then. Give me a second. I'm gonna go grab it because I think you're gonna think it's cool. I'm back.
Go on then.
Cleanse you.
You can't get on with the Yu-Gi-Oh though, Snoo. You may want to look into Card Fight Vanguard.
What was that?
You may want to
Card
look
Fight? What is
Card
that?
Fight Vanguard. Yeah, it's another like trading card game. But it is a lot different than Yu-Gi-Oh. It's a lot more fast-paced. There's an entire anime based on it as well.
Okay.
Alright, I have returned with the thing that I'm gonna show you. I have a particular card bar. Or not card bar, sorry, dice box. It is pretty cool looking.
Oh, is it your little dice box?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll share it. I'm taking pictures right now.
Ooh. We got a Trinky incoming.
Stretch.
We got a Trinky coming in.
Just
Hey.
says that she has loaded up puzzle together.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Wait.
It's fine.
It's okay.
Oh no, there's something missing, Snoo. My coin.
I had to get food.
Oh, I know where your coin is. Hang on.
How is Trinky?
Drinking is good. How is everyone else?
Pretty good. We're talking about cards and we're talking about dice.
Love it.
Yeah, we're on that nerd shit.
You missed baseball earlier.
Baseball, yeah.
Baseball, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I heard all about this.
How was family time?
It's just delightful.
I like how I'm always just like, man, my memory's pretty dog shit, and then it's just, oh, I know exactly where your coin is.
You guys would be so proud of my pale butt sat in the sun all day, and only my nose is burnt.
Oh my
Nice.
god.
I look like Rudolph.
Alright, I'm gonna share these in the Discord and then I will share them on the IRL. Or I guess on my side of this thing. Alright.
We couldn't
So-
decide what to have for food. Then we had to go to the shop really quick to buy stuff for food. And then we had to cook food, and I've just finished eating food. Hence why I was here so late.
Gotcha.
No worries.
So this is the dice box. It's shaped like a book, and it's also got a magnetic sealer on the side, so it flips and closes itself automatically like a book, which is
Where
really
did you put it?
It's in the general. It
Just
just
in
set.
general? Okay.
It opens up onto the side here.
Oh, that's pretty
It's got
cool.
fun cards on the inside of it. It also came with a coin for, technically having a two-sided die or flipping the coin. And its
Yeah.
two sides are pretty nice.
Very nice.
It's also like a magnetized side.
Yeah, it also has a card on the bottom explaining the sign, but I don't think I need to explain the sign, nor do I feel the need to explain the Eldritch sign.
No. So what else have I missed then?
Lots of Yu-Gi-Oh talk and lots of baseball talk.
Fair play.
Yep. And the Pokemon spam in the Discord before we went live.
Oh yeah, we were also talking about Bobs.
Oh yeah, there was
Burgers?
Bob's.
There were Bobs.
Bob's Burgers or
No, boobs.
No. Boobs.
Idiots.
oh,
Bonhanaga Hoogs.
the
Hanaga
burgers.
Hoogs. Yes. Alright, give me a
see.
second. I will show off what I was showing them.
Bed bobs and boomsticks.
Mm-hmm.
That makes you think of the TikTok thing where they're like, be back in blueberries.
Well, that for me at the very least, that was a play on bed knobs and broomsticks.
Alright. So there's the box itself.
Let's see. God damn it, what? And
There
oh,
it is.
jeez, okay, my bro, what's going on?
Button dice on the
And
inside.
who's that bed knob?
The
Yeah.
tail side of the coin,
Um,
and the head
oh, and how was
side.
the dragon too? The dragon, I love the dragon, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, cool stuff.
God damn it. I'm sorry, bro. How's the dragon? The dragon was awesome. Thank you very much. I loved the gifts. Thank you.
Okay, so I have a question for you guys.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Okay.
If you had to be either deathly allergic to either gluten or to dairy, which one are you choosing?
Oh man, just shoot me in the head. Like, fuck.
Are you feeling attacked?
I would choose
I'd
to be
probably
deathly
choose-
allergic to gluten.
I'd probably choose to be allergic to gluten. I can't give up ice cream.
I just really like cheese.
I can't give up ice cream, cheese, or chocolate milk. I'm too fucking white, man.
Gluten, because I already thought at one point that I was allergic to gluten anyway. So
I mean, that's fair play.
You refuse to answer, Gray. Why? Is it because you are? If you are, that's fine. That means your answer is really going to be easy. Unless it's both. And if it's both, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
If it's both, then God really just looked at you and just went, alright, this person's getting nerfed to hell.
They just said hard mode.
Hard mode.
hard mode.
There are no cheat codes.
No cheat codes.
Konami code doesn't work here.
No.
See, I'm gonna be controversial. I'm gonna go dairy.
But
Oh, you
yeah,
love
that makes sense because you love the bread.
I do love the bread, and I'm already like lactose intolerant, so
Yeah.
So it's basically just the lactose intolerance, but
Okay.
more severe.
yeah. I mean, and I know there's so many alternatives now. Like in America, Lactaid. Oh my god, the Lactaid salt or caramel chocolate chip ice cream hits different, and I cannot describe. And we don't get it here in the UK, and it actually makes me want to cry.
Well, I can't understand that because I've never had that. I have had lactose-free ice cream in a couple of different varieties, and they've all been good times.
The Lactaid one, oh, it was so good.
I've tried like lactose-free chocolate milk, and it's actually really tasty, and I get it regularly.
The,
Yeah.
the Ben
I
and
think it's so
Jerry's
easy
stuff.
now to like in terms of lactose substitutes. Whereas I feel like gluten substitutes just still aren't the same.
Because the thing about gluten is it's really hard to like avoid or remove or substitute
Okay,
because
let's show the strap.
it's
Sounds good, bro. Thanks. Sorry.
because the way gluten works is it's not like a specific ingredient that makes gluten. Gluten is literally like the chains within bread. It's what makes bread gluteny. So
That's what
avoiding
makes bread good.
means avoiding things that have any of those chains to make up, or at least small enough amounts of them that it's not going to affect your digestive tract.
Blockchains?
It's also why when like, you know, the whole like gluten-free craze thing was going on and people would get asked, what is gluten? And people would describe it as if it was like a bacteria or some shit, and people had to explain, no, that's not what it is. It's the equivalent of like a chemical makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the bacteria would be yeast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bacteria would be yeet.
Yeet! Fucking yeet! I said yeast.
Yeast.
What is this yeast you speak of? I always do find it weird when I look at yeast. Because obviously I bake with yeast. I'm like, wow, you're living. That's weird.
It is strange.
Like, I look at it and I'm like,
I am going
that's
to
just
burn you
weird.
alive!
Yeah. Like, I'm like, whoa. That's so weird.
Lamau, you're alive now. No, you're not. Lamau.
I do find it, like, genuinely really odd.
Die in a fire!
I can't describe why. It just... do.
Just do it that way.
It's just one of those things, can't really describe it. It just kind of is what it is.
I watched a food documentary series somewhat recently called The History of Food, I think is what it was called. Hang on. Let me pull it up really quick.
Grey lady, Mr. Ronzi is your daddy.
What?
What?
Excuse me?
What?
Beg your
Yeah.
pardon?
I might need some context.
No context.
Gray's
Hey,
going goblin.
Gray's always goblin. What are you talking
Well,
about?
no, you guys have the multi up, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I've not opened the multi yet. I need to go do that. I was in such a rush to get here.
Oh, I see. I see. Uh...
Let's get that open on this monitor. I don't know how I ever used to live with just a laptop screen.
You made him make that?
I
we gotta
would
move
have
the car
either,
again.
but I
Aw,
would
man.
Yeah,
still
but
eat
we'll
it
have
as
help
I
from
prepared it.
Chalk.
Prepared for the after.
I mean, yeah, but we did
prepared
it
for the
just fine
aftermath,
last time. It's
bro.
still like, ugh.
Yeah. But now we have an extra set of hands, so it's gonna be a lot easier.
What are you doing? What?
We're moving your car.
Yeah, we have to push my car that doesn't run out of the garage because they need to change out our water heater because our water heater broke.
Tricky, what are you doing?
I didn't mean to. I'm so sorry.
Frankie, are you stealing his
You're
pieces?
such an angry. What are you doing?
What's going on? I'm confused.
I might have started to rotate a giant section by accident.
But no, Trinky, you
Oh my God.
you know what it is? The exclamation mark daddy command in my chat.
Oh, that wonderful, wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have a mummy one.
Mummy?
Are you my mommy?
Well, I mean, you could, but it very much depends upon how comfortable you would be with, like, particular people who ended up spamming it.
Hello, Mox.
I'm everyone's mummy. I don't care.
That is fair.
I mother my chat. Sometimes too much, and I turn them into gremlins.
Goblins.
Yeah.
Imagine paying attention to chat. Couldn't be me.
I mean, I'm
You still
usually
don't see
pretty
Twinkie?
good with it.
I don't. Trinky, are you streaming?
I am not streaming, no.
Yeah, there's your
Oh.
answer.
I literally was just like, as I'm so late, I might as well just join in.
Just
Change the
jump in.
multi-stream to cut out the part that has Trinky, and then you can see everyone's chats.
I thought I
Looks
provided.
like it fits perfectly here, but it
I
don't.
thought I provided one last week for us.
Yeah, that didn't have Trinky. It's already a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I had shared around the one that did have Trinky because I thought she would be streaming.
I
with us.
guess if I just take my name out of the title and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
out of the search and then just hit
Just
enter again,
so-
it will be you guys.
Track of them a bit better.
Yeah, there we go, it worked.
I'm gonna pin the multi-streams in our general chat in the Discord.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, no worries.
No. Trinky be looking like Rudolph and she's eating Doritos in a burrito blanket, so you know.
The real Rudolph experience.
Wasn't there something that all of the reindeer that Santa pulls is actually female? Are actually female?
Yeah, they are, because female reindeers are the only ones that have antlers.
Yeah.
They're all girls.
They are.
Yep.
Santa said Santa said
So-
all female deer team.
So they've been misgendered all this time.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Happy Pride Month, y'all.
Happy Pride.
Pride Month!
Happy Pride.
What are you gonna do for Pride Month, Snoop?
Do gay, be crime.
Do gay, be crime.
Yeah,
What am I
that's
gonna do for Pride Month? I don't know.
you don't know.
I don't know. Because aside
Brian?
from the stream with Trinky, I don't really have any plans for Pride Month specifically.
Hee that's me.
Hee, that's me.
Hee that's me.
I am away.
You are. Boo.
Oh, you're doing the Maxi challenge? Are you the one being Maxied, or are you Maxing someone else being Maxied?
What?
Do you guys watch Stranger Things?
No.
I finished season 1, and I'd been trying to get Mox to watch it with me, but he wasn't interested, so I
Honestly,
kinda
fuck
ended up
that
watching
bitch, watch it on
season
your own.
that
Okay.
bitch be right here.
I don't care.
Ow.
My thing is I enjoy watching things with other people a lot more than I enjoy watching them by myself.
But yeah, well, priorities, Stranger Things.
How about fuck you?
It's so good though.
I know it's good. I watched all of season 1 and I started season 2, and then I slowly fell off of it because,
Well-
wow, watching things was more exhausting than I thought it would be.
You could pretend to watch it with me and then just talk to me about it.
Oh, yeah, you could do watch parties.
You two
Heck,
could watch
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I'll watch it again. It's so good.
That
I
means I don't
just-
have to watch it. Yay!
I, j-
I
never,
We all win.
I never got around to actually starting it.
It's a lot of there's a lot of D&D in it,
Yes.
Well,
especially in the
AD&D.
newest season.
AD&D, it's not modern D&D, because it takes place in the 80s.
Yeah, it's AD&D.
Yeah, there's a lot. I'd say there's the most probably D&D in the current season.
Bro, how's
Like,
your
if I want to
Jubilee
watch a
been?
show about people playing,
Which I've
D-
heard people who
I'll just
like D&D
join
thought it was
D&D
quite
on
well done,
Fridays.
but I don't know much about it, so.
or I'll just sit back and watch all of the Poor Chem crew just play D&D on Fridays. That'll work too.
It's D&D.
I mean,
Wouldn't
that's also
that
an
be
option.
interesting if I just sat back and was like, all right, you guys, you do your A team, B team adventures. I'm gonna sit back here being the commentary.
I think it would be funny if you got me to commentate on one of your D&D games. Like, you guys play it and I'll be muted and I'll just commentate on it.
You would be
I mean,
dead
we were-
because we do it so late.
Yeah,
Oh, that's probably true.
because we start around 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so that would be like
5 a.m.
5 a.m. for you.
Oof. record it and then I'll commentate on it.
Funny enough.
Funny enough, we already do that.
Right, give me some. I want to commentate on it, and I think it would be
Okay.
really funny for
Do
you
you
then to hear
want
back my
D&D
commentary.
or do you want Cyberpunk?
Or alternatively, do you want like the 3-year-old Eminem campaign that's been on hiatus?
I do not mind, but I think this would be funny.
Oh boy.
Okay, so technically, I could just add you to my little private picture collection server that I also upload our D&D recordings to.
I think it would be funny because I know nothing about it.
I'm going to warn you, these recordings are hours long.
I think it'd be funny. I'll trim it down. I'll be
Oh
like,
no.
yo. Oh my god, that bitch
we don't
just
have
did
those
this!
anymore, no,
Whoa!
do we? Ah, suddenly sadness. We don't have any of the Neonem stuff.
No, the NeoNem stuff got lost a long time ago.
Damn. Because I realized, oh, it wouldn't be funny if we could do Cyberpunk because that's got
Yeah.
Thank you,
I
Gray.
Great.
actually get to finally meet fucking Kedia.
She's not a satyr, she's a goat person.
Unfortunately, like, all of the old Cyberpunk stuff got lost when the PC got bricked, so all we have is the New Start stuff, which there's Episode 2 New Start and Episode 3 New Start. I don't know where Episode 1 New Start is.
Which one of them?
So,
do we have
Why?
Macworld?
Can I ask you why do you record them? Is it for Snooze book thing? Drawing comics
it's
book,
for-
that's the word.
The comic stuff, as well as the fact
Yeah.
that it's just kind of become habit by now. And our plan eventually is to take these recordings, convert them into a script, and make basically an audio drama.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
Did I
cool.
go on the edge there?
Who what?
Does that go on the edge of that piece on the bottom right?
Are we looking at the same thing?
That piece of
Oh,
grass.
Yeah.
oh, sorry, you do it.
No, it doesn't go there. Okay. It's fine.
Right, it all goes here somewhere.
Yeah, this might not go here, but
Well, I'm trying to work out
Trinket,
where this
yeah,
goes on the main bit.
invite on Discord.
Lush. Thanks.
Then you get to pick and choose whichever one you want, and I'm curious where you're gonna start because I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna be hanging out with you probably on an Apex stream or something like that, and you're gonna be like, "Man, this Tomb character is kind of a bitch."
Well, this is what I'm hoping my commentary will turn into. You're like, oh shit, they're an
If you
ass.
insult my boy, I will just ban you immediately from the server.
Man, this Edge character also kind of a bitch.
That one I can agree with. I'll fully agree with Edge being a bitch, but Tomb is not a bitch.
Man, he can't even hold one alcohol.
No, he can't. Edge is a super bitch.
You want to talk about that? Because I think that'd be a funny story to tell.
Trinky on the warpath? Trinky's always on the warpath. What do you want about?
Okay, so, in Cyberpunk campaign, my character, his name is Edge, because of course he's named Edge. And he is a netrunner, which means he's the hacker boy. And at one point, we were on a mission where we were on a boat. I don't fully remember what the job actually was on the boat.
You guys were protecting a pirate radio station from basically corporate assassins who were trying to control the waves.
That's right. And after...
With CRAB radio.
Yes. And after we protected them the first time, Stu over here ranting about D&D sessions and never mentioned recordings to me. I've recorded our sessions ever since the first campaign, technically. Like, in the middle of the first campaign, I would just be putting my phone in the middle. I didn't tell them I was recording, I just put the phone in the middle, and then fucking... At one point I got a notification, and Chalk looks down, and he goes, "Are you recording this?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, after we, like, succeeded against defending the boat from, like, the first, corporate, like, gunmen, would they be a crew, technically?
They were a crew.
Yeah. So the crew invited us to play poker, blackjack. I don't remember, a card game.
Pretty sure it was blackjack.
Pretty
Because
sure
I didn't
it
want
was
to play a whole poker game knowing that some of you probably didn't know the rules to poker, but y'all know blackjack.
Yeah, so they invited us to blackjack, and I lost like 3 times in a fucking row. And they also had me drink, and to which Mox asked me, okay, after the first drink, go ahead and roll, like,
Resist drugs.
resist drugs, with basically a constitution check. And I fumbled. So I had 1 drink, and I was blacked out. And my character just disappeared for the rest of the night.
Well, I'm going to explain one thing before you do that. So, Trinky, do you know what a fumble is?
What I do when I'm drunk?
No, do you know what a fumble is?
No, I don't.
Okay, so on a standard roll, the highest number you get, being usually a 20, is considered a critical success, and the lowest number of a 1 is considered a critical failure or a fumble.
Right.
Fumbles are a divisive and controversial thing, because some people absolutely despise them, and some people think they're the greatest thing on the planet. I think that fumbles have a time and place on things, and more importantly, I like to put fate into your hands as a player, because I like to go, alright, so you fumbled, let's figure out how bad it is. I'm gonna basically roll a percentage, and you tell me if it's gonna be above 50% or lower than 50%, and depending on where you say, we'll decide how bad it goes.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, so you'll hear the phrase high or low in our recordings, and that's typically what that means.
Okay.
So, I believe you actually did fairly well on that roll. So instead of having you go and make a complete jackass out of yourself, you just vanished.
Just disappeared.
And
Mind you,
we're-
that was also the
Oop.
first time that
Sorry,
Ed had ever drank
That's right.
anything alcoholic. So, the first time he ever drank anything, he got blacked out.
I think there should be a rule, which is if you have to drink alcohol in D&D, you have to drink alcohol in real life.
That could be
No.
a problem.
No.
And see the
Or-
problems that would cause.
Not only does, like, most of our IRL table not want to drink while playing, we also have a personal rule of, like, if you are going to drink, don't drink more than 1.
Nah, I think a drunk D&D session would be funny.
It's
I mean,
not.
it'd be funny, it's just not as great as you think.
It very much depends upon whether your character is drunk the entire time or not. Like you're playing Captain Jack Sparrow or something.
Also, some
Yeah.
jackass has to stay coherent enough to run it, and it's usually going to be the poor DM who's going to be wrangling already a bunch of probably psycho toddlers, and now they have no filters.
I mean...
Yeah. I mean, I generally,
The more
whenever
and
I
more-
D&D'd, I generally wouldn't drink.
No, I imagine it's probably best played not. But I'd like to see the consequences of it if it was.
My guess, TPK.
Yeah. The more and more that I learn about, like, other D&D groups, the more and more it's like, oh, our group's real fucking weird, I guess.
Yeah, but that's
Our
fine.
group, yeah. I mean, we're weird, but in the sense of, like, we're not problematic.
We don't have an old man, what is it, Jenkins?
Yeah, we don't have a fucking old man Jenkins on our team. We don't have someone who sits at the table and goes, alright, I'm about to make problems for everybody.
Okay, so then my next question I have about D&D, I guess it's probably mostly directed towards Mox,
Okay.
but it might not be. Is how do you begin to write like the stories and the things that happen in your D&D thing?
Max is the wrong person to ask.
Okay,
Robs.
I do not write anything. I am
Okay.
the worst person when it comes to this thing. I entirely rely on the fact I'm quick on my feet and very clever. But I could give you the process if you really want to know, because what I do for a D&D game is, first thing I go is, what do I want to do? what sounds fun to me, because the DM's a player. The DM is as much a player as the players themselves, and you should be having fun running the campaign as you are playing the campaign. Okay?
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree with that.
I hate this mentality that some people have of it's the DM versus the players.
I fucking hate that mentality.
In certain
That is-
situations, I understand where you're coming from, but that's not what it is, because the guy sitting across the table is probably your friend and is just as invested as you guys succeeding as you are, but there has to be risk and consequences, so there has to be a challenge that could kill you or something.
The DM is a storyteller. They're not the enemy.
Yeah.
So when I'm the DM, I am completely neutral. I don't care if you live or survive. I just want to see how everything plays out. But I'm rooting for you. Thumbs up. Congratulations. But I'm not going to fake anything.
If anything, technically, the side you're on, Mox, is you're on the side of drama.
Yes, I am absolutely on the side of drama.
That does not
Side of
surprise me.
chaos.
Not chaos. Things happening for random and no coherent reason, stupid. But if I have something that I have been hinting and setting up that seems random but is totally not, now that's more like it.
Okay.
I really like to take player expectations and shake them like a magic 8-ball.
He literally would just take my brain and then fucking shake it like a goddamn water bottle every session.
Because it's fun. But anywho, like, so I figure out what I want to do. I'll give you a good example of a thing, because I think that'll be better if I just talk about one of my favorite adventures I ran, to explain the setup. In
The
Cyberpunk...
Persona campaign?
Fucking shut up. I'm not gonna get into that right now. Okay, so I had an idea for something I wanted to do. I wanted to do this kind of semi-Battle Royale style adventure. And when I say semi-Battle Royale, I mean I didn't want it to end with the players having to fight each other and kill each other. That's stupid. But I like the idea of setting up the drama that could have been what the bad guys expected out of it, right?
I was so fucking stressed out during this.
So I was like, okay, well, how would I do that? And then I thought, you know, what is a good thing of inspiration that I could pull from or look up to see how this could have been done? So use references, use resources. If you like something, plagiarize the hell out of it, but make it your own, you know?
Yeah.
Yes, you basically want to yes and an idea for something. So it's like, yes, there's
Yeah.
this thing from it, and what else am I going to do with it?
So what I did is I took one of my more favorite styles of that kind of thing, which was actually the old Wii game Mad World, which is about a section of a city blocked off by terrorists while a death game is going on the inside of it. And I took more from that as my premise, where it was going to be a death game where you are being graded on your performance, and getting kills isn't just the thing. You have to put on a show. So doing things, being more outlandish, more violent, putting on a display of things, showboating, will actually net you points and rewards, where just killing people is not going to really get you through the whole
What
shebang,
game?
you know?
Spike TV.
Sure.
I also realised saying, well, no, you should know, because we're roughly the same age.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sounding a lot like Spike TV. There's a video game.
Well, this one was Mad World, which is technically Death Watch, which is another thing I got the name from, was Death Watch. So now I have my premises. Now it's figuring out how it's going to function. So I eventually sat down with a map, drew up a quick grid, and I was like, okay, so they're going to need to be able to do things in here, and I had to make some decisions, and I decided, okay, I'm not going to let them have their weapons, but their cybernetics they can keep, because who's going to have the time to really rip someone's cybernetics out? That's not very feasible, and that sounds like an unfair thing, but it does mean that the more riding the line of sanity someone has with being a cybernetic out dude, probably the more fun they'll have out there with against the guy who has nothing, or just has the thing that lets him text with his phone by blinking.
Plus, for the players themselves, getting their cybernetics back, like installed back in their bodies, would be a huge pain in the ass.
Yeah, and I don't want to deal with that. But I can take away your weapons and stuff like that. That's fine.
Yeah.
But then how do I set up things so that they can do stuff? So I just set up kind of like how Apex has these loot points, these drops that you can just pick up stuff in. Just got a random table, threw some stuff in. It's like, all right, they're gonna open it up, and I'm just gonna roll what's inside of it real fast. So maybe you'll open it up and it'll be like, oh, sweet, a machine gun. Or you'll open it up and be like, why is there a pair of boots?
Hey, yeah, I'm following.
Yep. And from there, it was like, now we get the players involved. So I know very well that players hate having their stuff removed. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because you spend all this time making your character, and maybe you're somebody who's like, oh, I want to be really good with this one specific weapon, so when a situation arises that weapon is taken from you, that kind of sucks, because you feel useless.
Yeah.
You know?
You basically just get instant nerfed without that weapon.
Instant nerfed, not great. So I had to set it up in a way that put it on a fairground for everybody. So everyone knew the shtick. So what I was going to do was I was going to have these guys get ambushed and then robbed, essentially. But they knew it was coming. I literally taped a videotape to a bunch of important things, letting them know, A, that they were being targeted, and that these were specifically for them, and that these people knew, and B, that there were people watching them. So after they watched these videos, and no one took any precautions, the jump happened. A bunch of dudes in metal suits showed up. They threw in stun grenades, which knocked out some people immediately, and then they ran in with tasers and tased you until you were unconscious. That worked on all but one person, and that was Chalk.
Of course.
Why did it not work on Chalk? Because Chalk just made the checks. They resisted the damage and stuff like that. And they were still a little dizzied from stuff, but...
Chalk's character in this campaign, by the way, is named Jacqueline, and not only did Jacqueline succeed her checks, she also pulled out a minigun that we had gotten prior, and gunned down, what, 2, 3 of them?
About 2 or 3 of them, yeah. Before being rushed with tasers. And then just knocked down. Then they woke up inside of a dusty and abandoned, like mall-like area. A video played that told them what was going on. Well, it was supposed to. These jackasses broke it before it could.
As players do.
So only half of the group got to see it, because the other half of the group was in a different room dealing with things. Which led to some real fun things. And then things go. So up until the point of playing, it's a matter of just setting up an idea of a scenario. Don't set up like how everything's gonna go, because you don't know. And you shouldn't really ever do something that's gonna dictate what a player is gonna do, because not only do I not know what Snoo is gonna do, Snoo, you're gonna go into that room.
Oh, but I didn't choose to.
You're gonna go into that room.
No, I'm gonna go somewhere else.
No, I want you to go into that room.
That's a shame. I'm gonna go over here.
You're gonna go into that room.
Maybe later. Not right now. I don't know what's in there.
You see how that works?
Yeah.
It doesn't. However, if I go, okay, you enter a room, there's a door on the other side, there don't seem to be any discernible features within the room besides that door.
Okay. What does the door look like?
It appears to be old oaken and certainly aged.
Okay, if I test the doorknob, is it locked?
It doesn't appear to be locked, though you do notice that it sort of squeaks as you gently turn it.
Okay. I am going to try and crack open the door and peek through.
You peek through. It's too dark currently for you to see through here. You might need some more light either from behind you, or if you have a light source, you could shine it in.
Let's say I have a flashlight. I will shine the flashlight through the crack in the door.
There does appear to be something on the opposite end. You see with the makings of a bit of a room, from a rug to a end of a furniture.
Okay. I will open the door after assessing that there doesn't seem to be any sort of threat on the other side.
And that's how you get someone to get into a room.
Right.
You make them decide to go into the room. You don't decide it for them.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
Yeah, your players will always have their own agency.
Mhm.
Another thing as well, from like to straight up like quote from a D&D or a DM TikToker: make scenarios, do not write situations.
If you're gonna write a situation, write a book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes
Indeed.
sense. Makes a lot more sense now.
Mm-hmm. Being a DM can be also stressful and ridiculous at times.
Boy, can it.
I think my least favorite thing to actually do is unceremoniously kill a player.
Yeah.
That sucks. That's not fun.
It especially like is upsetting if the player didn't deserve it.
Mm-hmm. There are funny stories of characters who die. Oh, sorry.
As I say, just get kissed by a succubus. It's fine.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
I love the word succubus.
That is how my last character died.
Would suck.
Oh no! Did you get sucked to death?
Oh yeah, I got turned to dust and scattered to the wind.
You got fully drained, huh?
Oh yeah,
So what you're
Ouch.
saying is you got the good suck.
yeah. got the good suck.
Uh,
My character had like amazing stats. We was a campaign where we done the custom roll. You roll like 4 dice and you pick the top
drop
3.
the lowest.
Yeah, my stats
Yeah.
were all like 13s, 14s, 15s, 16s.
That is
17s,
definitely how
18s.
you get powerful characters.
I had my character was powerful and I just could not roll to literally save my life.
Them's the ropes.
Yeah,
That's really just how it is sometimes.
yeah.
Like, the
and
dice are the most humbling fucking feature of the game ever.
oh yeah.
Wow, that's a really nice min-max character. How about you fumble 6 times in a row, buddy?
The
What's
more
that?
infuriating thing is when
Saving
a character-
throws? Ah, no. Who needs saving throws?
The really infuriating thing is when you make a character who is skilled at one particular thing and they can't succeed, but the untrained bumblefuck comes in and happens to roll a nat 20.
You're the first. I'm still mad 7 years later of Taryn fucking fumbling to heal Jack, and then Esteban's drunk ass coming in and slapping a band-aid on it with some alcohol and going, "There you go, fixed."
Jesus Christ, Bumbles, that's a lot of damage.
So mad.
I could not tell.
Sounds
I know, it's very hard
fantastic.
to read me as a person. Anyway, not including Tomb, I think I've only had 2 deaths of any of my characters throughout the 7 or 8 years we've been playing D&D.
It's sad when your character dies.
Oh, it's so sad.
You have no idea. So, the first one was a version of Karen, who technically died, but reversed it herself with a god token, because of the way the system worked, and I'm not going to explain all that. Basically, she saw herself die, and then was able to rewind time briefly, and retry the situation. And then the second time a character died, honestly, I kind of don't want to count it, because the DM was a piece of shit, who's no longer in our friend group, and straight up just did everything in his power to try and kill me.
That is no way to run a game.
The less said, the better.
Yeah. Sounds it.
But yeah, it was very upsetting, and even though we pointed out multiple things the DM could have done differently, or even the option of retconning, and he just chose not to, it's just like, okay, so you intentionally killed me, and you're just not gonna apologize for it. Cool.
What in the hell is going on down here? That's awesome.
Trinky's going on down there.
Nice.
Oh. I think the thing that was more upsetting to me, though, is my character got killed after I told him, yeah, I think this character is a self-insert for me. Like, that felt like the more insulting piece.
Interesting.
Yeah. Again, the less said, the better. When... Okay. I'm gonna give an example of a funny death. I'm gonna give an example of a sad death, okay? These are from a different D&D group than the one that is the 4Chem crew. These are one of the ones that I was with. We were doing a campaign that was a giant nightmare mess of a campaign, but it was probably the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It's known as the Wolverines campaign.
God,
It's
yeah.
a fucking nightmare, okay?
Love this story.
We were all level 1 characters, so we're all baby characters, right? But one of our friends has decided that he's going to make a character who was this battle-hardened general. He had led armies for kings and fought in wars. Level 1 fighter. Okay? And for some reason, this historied, grizzled, old war veteran was working as an exterminator with a group that was going in to go clear out a raccoon problem in a brothel.
Sure.
Seems legit.
That makes sense.
Why would you make level 1 characters, may I just say, please make him a level 1 character. Because what happens next is just stupid. We ended up going into the sewers because these raccoon things that were part man, part raccoon with claw hands that flew on the ceiling like splicers from BioShock called Mancoons. There's a lot more to say on that. That's all I'm going to say for now. They had broken into the sewers, and we found a section where time had not been kind, and part of the ground had deeply collapsed. Alright? And the only way forward was across this gap. So, the more acrobatic characters made a jump across. One of the stronger characters held a rope on the other end, and basically everyone set up a little pulley system so that you could get across, okay?
Yeah.
The fighter, who was the level 1 general, decided he was going to make the jump. So he goes and he makes his jump, and he fails. So, oh no, he's falling. So the DM gives him a chance to be saved. So he reaches out for the rope before he hits the ground, or, starts to descend, and he fails. So now he can't grab that. He can't save himself. So he gets another opportunity, because we're early into this, and we don't want people to die yet. And the DM's being nice. So he gets another opportunity as a reflex to maybe grab the ledge. And he fails. One of the nearby party members is like, oh, he's fumbling around, basically like Bugs Bunnying in the air, trying not to fall into this pit. I'm going to try and reach out and catch him. Fails. Doesn't fumble, but just fails. So they miss from grabbing him. So this this man who led armies, charged into war, fell 30 feet into a pit in the sewers underneath a brothel fighting raccoons and died.
Interesting.
And I always think that's funny just because of how he built his character and what he was proclaiming himself as. One that's not so funny and is a lot more dramatic, and to let you know what more player deaths are actually like. That same group, we were playing a long campaign that ended up with us tracking down a monstrous person inside of a cave behind a waterfall. In this group was myself playing a character named Kelby. They were a ranger who rode a bear. It was cool as hell. There was a cleric who was one of my good friends. That same player who had made that fighter was in this group, who was playing a necromantic wizard who had been making an undead army out of every boss monster we had killed, which none of us were cool with, but none of us wanted to infight with them. And there was a barbarian amongst us. And he was a dwarven barbarian, so he was just a tiny man full of anger.
Battle Rager.
Uh-huh. So we walked into this cavern, We had a way to go to the left and a way to go to the right. We chose the right path. That ended up being the path to where we were looking, but probably not the best place to start. Because it took us straight to the boss, who was sitting on a stone throne waiting for us. They were a giant behemoth of a man wearing the souls of the deceased. Next to them was a beast that had been plaguing us down the road for quite some time, known as the Sandpoint Devil, a horse-like demon with wings.
That is a scary D&D monster.
Is a very scary D&D monster. There were also 2 undead giants in the room, just kind of moaning and groaning, and a Lamia priestess that had escaped our clutches in a muted tower where everything was permanently silenced. We saw them, they saw us, and the Sandpoint Devil leapt into action. It flew at us, it screeched its piercing screech, and put a fear effect on my bear and the barbarian. Some of our heaviest hitters were now fleeing down the cavern we had just left in terror at the sight of this thing, because that's how fear effects work, and that's so fun. Next up was the big bad, who looked at the undead posse that our wizard had brought with him and went, "Oh cool, I want those." Snap of his finger. And he had control of the bosses that we had previously killed, and they were now against us again.
It was fucked.
And acting on his turn, as the undead did, the wizard never stood a chance as they all brought down their full might upon him. Dead in the first turn. That left myself, the ranger with a big hammer, and the cleric with his spear. Not great.
I mean,
Alright, if we work together and coordinate this well, we should be able to survive, I think. The cleric goes before me. The cleric goes, "I'll put a stop to this!" and charges headfirst at the Lamia and the giant boss. Fuck.
Which, a shame that the cleric wouldn't use, turn undead.
Nope. They didn't want to use their spells for some reason. I don't get it. Anywho,
Their minds are
Because-
an enigma, man.
because
there I
double
was.
facepalm.
stuck, surrounded by the enemies that I didn't want in the first place, now turned on us like I said was gonna fucking happen. The undead giants that this guy had brought with him, by my goddamn self. And Kelby took out the Sandpoint Devil. Took out the undead army the wizard brought with him. And took out these giants in a couple of turns, honestly. Just great rolls to phenomenal effect. And as they fell, she let out a battle cry with, her wounded self crawling out for her bear companion Cobalt to return. And that turn, the fear effect was resisted and the barbarian and the bear were on their way back. Fortunately, they had a couple of rounds to get there because they had been running for a couple of rounds. It was at this time that the effects of, something like 8 monsters on 2 people started to show their effects, as our health started to dwindle down. The cleric occasionally remembered to try and heal, but they healed themselves.
They
Then-
sound really friendly.
I have some grievances with all of my D&D groups I've always been in, as everybody does. This group had a problem with not working together. The last giant that was still standing as an undead thing tossed a boulder at Kelby. It ended up landing true and taking her down. With his last bit of magic, and maybe as a dick move, the boss raised his hand and went, "You. I'm taking you." And Kelby was turned undead. Dying in D&D isn't the worst thing. Dying in D&D is pretty reversible in many situations. Being turned undead is not.
The only thing that can bring back an undead person is the wish spell.
To make matters worse, if you are turned undead, your soul is damned and you do not go to any afterlife.
No, no, you do not.
However, that was the last thing the giant boss got an opportunity to really use his abilities for because he was tapped out from doing it. Actually sparing everybody else from this undead death. This undeath, I should say. With the barbarian, who was fully healed, didn't have any problems against him, and the bear, who ended up dying, almost killing the boss. They were able to finish everything off. The cleric ended up getting reincarnated as a halfling. He died during the battle. The wizard was brought back to life by a mysterious unseen patron, which would later prove to be basically the devil themselves, as he had stole his soul for power, because of course he did. And Kelby and their bear were put to rest in a grave underneath a tree nearby the local village. To my surprise, however, as they were making the grave, the wizard went to go and loot my body. And the cleric stepped up and went, no. They go with their things. And especially with her hammer. Her hammer was used to mark her grave. And I always thought that little bit of sentiment was really nice. It was kind of like a last sign of respect, That's one of those situations where things are not as fun.
No.
I mean, that sounds tragic.
It was very emotional. And I was pretty just bent out of shape about it. I was especially pissed at the wizard. Oh my god. And that's one of those, like you can see how, the deaths of characters can just go. If you're a DM and you have to kill a player because the dice dictate it, because the dice are dicks.
Assuming the player, has been a good player and has been respectful.
Give them respect, let them have a last hurrah if you can, and if you're able to, put on a show.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Interesting. Learned so much.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's get off of
D&D
this.
is very fun.
D&D is very fun. There's nothing quite like it.
No, I get that.
I honestly think you would have a lot of fun playing in a game, Trinky.
Probably. I think I'd get very invested in my characters.
Oh no,
That's what I do.
That sounds like such a problem.
It would be for me.
Oh god, no! Don't get so heavily invested in your character.
I
Don't do
would.
that.
It would be a
No.
problem.
I was
That's
actually
exactly what I do.
thinking, we should probably do one at this point in time and stream it. Not right now, but
Okay, I'll be
I would
honest.
absolutely be down. We would have to figure out who would be DMing. I would vote not Mox, so he could get a fucking break.
I was gonna say I've been working on a campaign for that very purpose.
Oh,
I was
Oh.
thinking
Going-
of.
I was gonna say I was gonna bring it up when it was closer to being ready, and I was going to offer it later because I wouldn't want to start until probably around fall. Give me time to work on it and give me time to work stuff out.
Oh, that's fair.
I mean, go for it.
So yeah, I was actually going to potentially suggest doing a Call of Cthulhu one.
no thanks. Pass. Hard pass.
Call of Cthulhu has a history life with our friend group.
Fair
I
enough.
feel like we need to know now.
No, it involves
Oh,
the
one
guy.
All it involves is that guy,
Okay.
and that's all I'm fucking saying. I'm not playing it. Sorry.
No, fair enough.
I have to ask, Keronzi, where did you and Cthulhu come from?
Cthulhu just has a calling to people.
Yes.
Apparently.
No, Eternal Darkness, I think, would have been my first pseudo exposure to the mythos and stuff like that.
It's a good exposure, honestly.
I've always just had an interest in occultish stuff, so.
Yeah, because I know Cthulhu's like your thing, but I've never known where it like came from.
Where it originated for me, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Eternal Darkness
Oh, I see.
is a game. Oh, jeez, when was it out? What, 20 odd years ago now, Marks? I think.
Something like that. Yeah, it was from the GameCube, and it was a
Yeah.
fairly early game in the GameCube's
Oh,
life.
yeah.
And yet it's quite important to horror games as a whole.
Yes. But no, the macabre and stuff like that has always been something that has interested me.
I'm guessing that didn't work out.
What do you mean?
Oh, I'm talking to, sorry, chat.
Okay.
Oh, maybe it did. Oh no. Oh, this goes here.
Oh, this guy's here.
Well, I'm trying to catch up. Everybody's been doing stuff, and I've been talking and telling stories. Then again, that's just how all of these have been so far.
Indeed.
Nothing wrong with telling a story.
Thank you.
But yeah, no, the darker side of the human psyche and stuff like that. It's interesting. It's weird. Your necromancers, stuff like that.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
Where did it go?
Huh?
I'm guessing somewhere on that top row.
Yeah, up there. Down here. Because the colors are more matching to over here.
Well, there you go. I present to you,
There
Sky.
you go. It's right here. Fitty.
Hold on. Hold
Or
on.
not?
You're a little too high.
There
There
we
it
go.
is.
I could see the
Yay.
points that were matching the entire time, going, guys, guys, guys.
Oh, why did my music pause? Okay.
I can move them up there because they're about similar.
Well, I did separate the pieces by section.
Yeah, they were the bits that I was putting on that
There we
section. And apart from that, the other ones aren't really the same.
I can't use the image behind the thing at the moment because the wooden table is just like the blue on the wooden table just doesn't work. I'm seeing
No.
the grain of the wood.
I mean, I'm just doing it because any of the colors kind of hurts my eyes if I'm looking at it too long. So I just have it on, help my eyes.
Why is that not? Because that doesn't quite fit there.
Hold on, Keronzi. I think I see where it goes.
Take it away.
Okay, maybe not. I thought that was the spot because it looked like that lined up pretty well. I appear to be cursed and stood correct. Oof. Oh, never mind. It's right there. It was to the
Okay.
right of it.
So, Keronzi,
Yes.
I assume then you have played some D&D yourself?
I have played D&D myself, yes.
Do you have any D&D stories you would like to tell?
Not really, no.
Oh.
There was never really any memorable thing. I got like, yeah, oh no. Well, we have one player, he was playing a druid who was kind of rubbing the wrong way with the rest of the group.
Oh, no.
Not really intentionally. It just kind of happened that that's how things kind of played out. But we ended up going through this kind of underground mushroom grove and over a ravine. I can't remember which one of us done it. I think it was we all had a hand in basically his untimely death, in that we all ended up pushing him. Yeah, it's like a Julius Caesar kind of moment. We're like, yeah.
What were any of you specifically his Brutus?
I think it was actually me.
Oh no!
I think it was purely by accident as well. But I think I'd like nudged someone, and they ended up bumping into him, and he went over the ravine. We were arguing about we ended up with it was arguing about where the group was heading, because our alignment was naturally changing. I think at this point to get to a wizard that was causing problems, we had sold our souls and basically sold them to a devil, and he'd taken our hearts. And basically had them in boxes and everything. And periodically this devil would give us messages of things to do. One person who didn't do that, who stayed behind, got it worse, and we think that he ended up basically having his body replaced by a demon.
Oh my god.
And it was this guy that we ended up kicking off got kicked off the cliff in the end. Of which then he ended up making a rather annoying paladin.
Like lawful stupid paladin?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say lawful stupid, but definitely lawful. In that he was like, oh, I am paladin, I am faith. You cannot sway me, kind of paladin. That's kind of the thing with them, is that we all had. My characters always tried to, okay, let's try and make them work with the group and their ideals. All of the other ones, all of them were all hard set on their ideals. No, they weren't meshing with each other, as it were. Like, a tip I got from trying to set up my own campaigns and everything like that was, you don't want all of the characters to know each other, but you want them to have commonality between a few of the party members. So like, if you're running a group of 5 players, you'd want each player to have a connection in some way to 2 other players.
Yeah.
That wasn't happening with our group. There was no connectivity. There was no real common thread. We were all in a tavern at the same time.
Oh god, it's just a tavern story. You're in a tavern, cool.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We were all there, and it was all kind of oh yeah, you're all now conscripted because you're all here, and there's a problem going on. The group, I don't talk. I mean, I talk to one guy in the group every now and then. But it's so few and far between that I talk to him, and the rest of them I just don't talk to. I mean, the DM was the guy I lived with for like 10 years.
Gotcha.
But they live down literally just up the road from where I am. Like, literally a 2-minute walk,
Oh
if that.
no, bundles.
But yeah, I just don't talk to them anymore. And after moving out, I was never invited back to the table, so no real loss on my part, really.
No camaraderie there.
No.
Where did the bit I was going on go?
What?
I was just working on a bit down the bottom. I stopped looking at the puzzle for a minute to eat some Doritos, and I looked back, and the piece I've been working on's gone.
That was probably the big piece I said.
Someone probably
What, to the bottom right?
Yeah.
Bitch.
I mean, I saw where it went. I was like, oh hey, a giant piece. Whoop.
Oh, are you talking about like the piece that went on the sky?
No, it was a part of the wave.
Oh.
No, the wave. I literally just looked back and I was like, it's gone.
I think some of my more funnier moments would be from when I was playing Star Wars: The Old Republic. A friend of mine was playing with me and my mods. Obviously, this was years ago, but he had a habit of like chasing characters around, and we were kind of pseudo role playing, I guess. And to get rid of the guy and stop him chasing him, my friend decided to jump off of a platform and into a hole to his death. And my friend, without even realizing, just followed suit.
Like lemmings.
Yeah. Oh, it was perfect.
Dead players.
What do dead players do? Do they just have to like hang out whilst you still play?
So there's options you can have. One is the player can like not show up to the session for as long as they need to, if they needed like an out from the campaign. Depending on how fast the other players could resurrect them, they can just wait around a little bit. Or, if there is no intention to bring the character back, they just make a new character.
Right. I see.
Yeah.
So you could still you could play multiple characters in the same campaign as well.
Yep, you could play multiple characters at the same time too. Boy, it gets messy.
Right, okay, that makes sense.
You could.
A campaign that we're currently playing, which we just call MR, short for Molten Rose, it's centered around a guild, and in that guild we have multiple different player characters and multiple NPCs, and we can pick and choose what character we want to play for a mission and what NPCs we want to bring along with us.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so in that campaign, I only have 2 characters, because for the longest while I only had the one, and then I decided to add in another when I realized, hey, I could throw this guy in here. And that would be, my characters are Q and Tomb. Q is a demigod wild magic sorcerer, and Tomb is a mastermind rogue.
I like your funny words, Magic Man.
Yes.
Oh, I have played
Playing
World
this
of
windowed, I've just realised. I was like,
World
why am I
of
squinting
Darkness.
so hard to see?
What were you saying, Keronzi?
I've played World of Darkness.
Oh. I've never played that myself, but I am aware of it.
Yeah, that was interesting.
I bet.
Had my character was Snack. Dealt in poisons, lots and lots of poisons. But did the character die? My character didn't die, but one of my mods, he makes really, really annoying characters. at times. Although they can be annoying. He made he likes to min-max his characters.
I know those feels. That's me right there.
He ended up making one of his, I think one of the more memorable characters was Bear. It was a shape-shifting bear. I can't remember. It was a werebear. I can't remember his exact the exact name. But basically, he was a refugee from a carnival. But he had a
like an awakened bear.
Kind of. I can't remember. I think it was
Was he a bear at first, or was he a man at first, and then can turn into a bear?
I think he was a bear that turned into a man. I can't remember. I think that's.
He is a bear who became a more human-shaped bear.
Whoa.
Yeah.
The bear.
But and yeah, basically anytime he would hear music, his character had to dance.
That's a really funny quirk. I like that.
So much to the point of our DM for this, Hunter. We were essentially raiding the Datadyne building from Perfect Dark.
Okay.
Yeah, music started playing. And this bear was apparently stealthy. He was a stealthy bear. He was
Sneaky bear.
Sneaky bear. But he was Russian as a bear is stealthy. I was like, okay, sure. He just goes like full bear mode, primal bear mode, and just becomes massive inside of the Datadyne elevators. It was terrible. It wasn't good.
Alright.
But the one that I had more interaction with was whenever I was introduced, when my snake was in. We ended up fighting. Have you played Resident Evil 5?
I have played all of them.
Do you remember Irvin from 5?
You're starting to make me look big.
I'm a businessman with standards.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were basically chasing him now.
You're chasing Irving.
In this campaign, but at one point we were going into the water. Now, obviously, being a snake, I was able to go into water perfectly fine. But he was playing a demon. But he was also, I think he was he was half groundskeeper Willie, half Armstrong from Full Metal Alchemist Brother. No, FMAB.
Oh, I love Armstrong.
Oh, that Armstrong.
Yeah.
That's the first
Okay.
one I think of.
I think of Senator Armstrong.
Oh, from Revengeance.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think of him.
No,
and his amazing speech. Nanomachine, son.
I haven't played that game. I need to.
Oh my god, it's great.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make you play that at some point.
I know.
But yeah, that was his demon character. And like he had like fists that would basically eat anything if it punched them.
Oh, I'm familiar with things like that.
Yeah. His character couldn't swim, but his character was dumb as rocks.
Oh, I love that.
And basically just jumped into the water to try and save people from a submarine that was kind of capsized and sinking. So he was thinking, I'll go down there and punch my way into the submarine to get them out. It's like, okay, great, but you can't swim. Ah, it's fine. Like, no, it's not. So, like, being a snake, and I can go into, like, an anaconda mode, like, giant sea serpent, I swam down to try and get him, but because he was blinded and in the water, couldn't see, didn't know what was going on, suddenly a snake was wrapping around him.
That's in.
Panic sets in, and he just started wailing on me and took a giant chunk out of me. I managed to get him up and save, but I had to shift back before anyone could see me, because the were snakes aren't meant to exist. They were basically during some of the Beast Wars in the werewolf games. The snakes were taken to the point of near extinction. Because they were adjudicators of everything, and their poisons were just too strong. The werewolves basically like killed them all, or thought they did.
Oh no, the culling.
Yeah, pretty much. So basically, no one was meant to know what I was. So that was fun. My character survived that, but it was not pleasant. But never again am I helping to save you guys.
Can you like make a character be basically like anything, or are there like?
That
the rules,
depends on the
I
system.
could say like, are there rules?
If I were to DM
Yes.
for you, Trinky, and having you as a new player, I would probably restrict you to only what's in the player's handbook, just to help you get a better understanding of how to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
Once you understood how to make your own character and you've played a few sessions and you wanted to make a new character, I'd be like, okay, here's all of the expansion books.
Right.
Here's how I'll put it, okay?
I'll let you
Trinky,
look through all of them.
I'm sure you've played an RPG in your life, right?
Absolutely.
Played an RPG where you pick a class, right?
Yeah.
And you get to make your character and you get to put stuff into them, and the things that you put into your character make you different than somebody else who would choose that same class, right?
Yeah.
Okay. At its core, that's how D&D functions. As far as a game, okay? As
Mhm.
far as a character goes, sky is the limit.
Right.
So if you wanted to make a character who fundamentally as a game is a roguish character, so they sneak around, they stab people, you can do that. Here's your abilities, here's what you do for your rolling. Okay?
Mhm.
Who that character is up to you. I just hope you're happy with your decision.
Okay.
So if we did this and it's just like, all right, what kind of character do you want to make? Oh, you know what? Here, I'll give you a good example, because we were talking about succubuses earlier, right?
Yeah.
I
Can
have
I be
made
a succubus?
technically yes.
Ooh.
Are you going to talk about Shadow Jago?
No, I'm not going to talk about Shadow Jago.
Oh.
I'm going to talk about a different thing. So I have claimed ownership of a character concept. Because it was a thing me and that guy came up with, and then they never did anything with it, so I'm like, fuck it, it's mine now. Who is a succubus that doesn't survive off of life essence. They're a succubus of pop culture.
I see.
They don't survive off of the fuck and stealing people's life essence and stuff like that. No, they feed
Off of the fuck.
off of
Well, I mean,
things like music and video games and TV shows and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And their rules are that they can't consume the same thing twice to be sustained.
Right.
So they are constantly seeking new things out there, from new movies to new music and to what have you. And they will literally starve to death if they are surrounded by the same thing for too long, or completely like in a sensory deprivation
Right.
thing.
It's basically, they can't binge watch shows.
They can, but it'd be like eating a giant meal. They also don't like things like remakes and stuff like that because it's stale. It's not that it is it's not as sustaining as the original. It's just stale.
I see.
And things like that. And that's just a different interpretation of a kind of character that I came up with. If you come up with something that you think is really neat, at the end of the day, talk with your DM about it, see if you can come up with something.
Like, so long as you and your DM are friendly with each other about it, I'm sure that you'll be able to pretty much do anything.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it doesn't break the rules.
Yeah.
Like, I as a DM always advocate for flavor text is whatever the fuck you want, so long as it doesn't change the gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
How you cast your spell is however you want to cast your spell, but at the end of the day, the requirements for your spell casting are the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my Sneck wasn't the villain. Wasn't a good guy though either.
Yeah, that's
And
fine.
that's fine. Characters like that are completely valid.
Yeah.
There
I
are
mean,
campaigns that people will make that are centered entirely around being evil and playing evil characters.
I wasn't an evil character. I just wasn't completely on the side of the rest of the players.
Yeah, but I'm still saying that's still a thing that happens, is people will make evil campaigns to play evil characters.
Yeah.
So playing anti-heroes or not very good heroes or, just not good characters, that's fine. Like, that's completely a choice.
Just
So
respect.
why does alliance matter then?
Are you talking about alignment?
Yeah, alignment.
Okay,
So
that's
they were a bigger thing in older versions of D&D. In newer versions, they're not as important, but they still relatively categorize your character.
Right.
I am completely against the idea of a thing that was a problem before, and technically still is a problem now with some DMs, where it's like, you can't do that, that goes against your alignment.
Which isn't what alignments represent. An alignment is more like your general decision and your general attitude towards things. Situational stuff comes up, like remember the goblin, the baby goblin question. Just because you decide to make one bad decision does not mean a complete and total change to your alignment. If you keep making that decision, that's where the problem lies.
Yeah.
And the other thing with, like, the alignment chart is it basically helps you define a character as well, because it's sort of just a general encompassment of their morals.
Yeah.
So a lawful good character wants to not necessarily follow the law, but they will follow, like, codes and rules so long as they think that those are for the ultimate good of themselves, others, and society in general.
Okay.
Whereas someone who's like a chaotic good says, it doesn't matter if I break the rules, so long as it's still helping people.
Mm-hmm.
Where somebody who's lawful evil goes, the laws are meant to support me in my endeavors, and they will do everything within their power to bend everything for them, but never truly breaking things. I like to think of lawful evil characters as lawyers.
Because that's basically how you would be able to run a lawful evil character is, yeah, it sure is kind of fucked up I did that,
The real shame.
No law or rule says I can't.
You're right, slavery is bad. It's a real shame slavery's legal where we're currently standing.
Yeah, okay, I get it.
You want to persecute me, unfortunately you gotta remember where you are. I have diplomatic immunity, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right.
The-
So
the-
they're like,
the-
they need to know the rules quite well.
Oh yes they do.
I have a tendency of making neutral good to neutral characters.
I generally just say, okay, this is what they're meant to be, and then just play them however, and then like, oh, I'm doing this, okay, well yeah, we'll just amend it, whatever.
Yeah, and that's completely fine too.
After I first found out that a paladin can have their powers taken away from them from certain alignment changes in old D&D and such, I came to grow a great disdain for the alignment system in general. I've also been on the receiving end of that by doing something that was good, but ended up being lied and deceived to about, and yet I was the one at fault, apparently, at the end of the day, and ended up losing all abilities in the middle of a fucking dungeon.
Which is bullshit, in my opinion.
I
The
think
DM tricks the player and then goes, okay, you got tricked, haha, I'm gonna take away your shit. That DM sucks.
yeah, I'll agree with that. But also, I mean, I think if your character is tricked, you should have a chance of essentially of redemption. That you can hold the person who tricked you to justice instead.
God, I wish it could have been something like that. Nope, I lost my powers and died. Because I was basically a worse fighter at that point.
I mean, in the middle of a dungeon, no. Outside of a dungeon, sure. Because
That's where political intrigue and stuff comes into play. Oh, that's some fun stuff.
Like outside of a dungeon, you have the chance then to at least prepare for it. You're not gonna be the same powerhouse that you once were, but you've at least got the ability to mitigate some of that.
If so long as the story continues and it all makes sense for the story, things can happen and change, and there are ways in which losing your abilities can be probably one of the highlights of a session, you know? It just has to be done in a way that makes sense to it all. This is now I'm getting into my own D&D philosophies. If it doesn't make sense to the story as a whole, then why is it a thing, and why are you doing it? That's why one of my favorite questions to ask somebody before they do something stupid is, are you sure you want to do this? It does not stop them, ever. I have never asked that question had someone go, hold up. But I have always asked that question before something stupid happens.
I have straight up said to Mox, oh, I fully acknowledge that this is a bad idea. My character is doing this anyway.
You want to tell them about that story?
Haha, my fucking superhero character Vermilion almost fucking died because she was being too fucking, what's the word? Not prideful.
It was prideful. You had a hurt ego.
She was insecure, that was it. She was being too insecure about her power set because a new character had shown up, and immediately was a lot better at being a superhero than she was, because their power set is a lot stronger than hers. So she decided to fucking, in the middle of this dungeon, where...
I love how you say dungeon with a superhero setting.
Yeah, well, gameplay-wise, it's a dungeon. Technically,
Yeah.
it was an old laboratory. I have difficulty describing it.
Think of... You guys ever watch the original Resident Evil movie with Mila Jovovich in them?
Yes.
Parts of it, yeah.
You know the nest?
The hive, yeah.
The hive, yeah. It was the hive. The underground cone laboratory with the offices and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Right.
Yeah. So it was basically that. And you know those mancoons that Mox mentioned
Cameron
earlier from that
didn't go into details about.
that you didn't go into details about? Well, he basically made his own version of mancoons, except they were man rats.
And I also gave them basically the Wolverine chrome dip.
Yeah. And we had run into a few of these. We had defeated them pretty easily. And at the end of a fight with like a pack of them or whatever, I don't know if this is when they first showed up or not.
It was.
Okay, so these things had just shown up for the first time. And was it just one of them was running away?
One of them was running away.
And I didn't really do much. Not only had I been having trouble with rolling with this character for a little while, this was also the session that Shy Guy's character had first shown up in this campaign. And they immediately pointed out my secret identity to me. They joined along with us on this mission, and they were defeating enemies much better than I was. So my character, being kind of a little bitch and overly sensitive about the situation and worried that she was going to be replaced as Chalk's character as their partner in the superhero setting, decides I'm gonna go after the one that's running away. Mind you, the man rat scurried into a tiny hole that was just barely big enough for it to squeeze through, and I decided to fly in there and try to chase after it and shoot it with my laser powers. And
A range-based character going up close and personal.
In a small confined space. It didn't go well, because that tunnel it ran into was basically a dead end. So you have a cornered animal that's getting attacked and now has no choice but to turn around and try and fight back. It beat the shit out of me.
Because of the nature of how this particular game system we were playing works, if you get knocked unconscious or so, you don't immediately start dying. It's the damage that you take afterwards, because it takes basically after superhero logic, okay? So, when this thing basically tore them a new one, they were fine. Until it kept going because it couldn't recognize that the person was done, because it was a scared cornered animal. Thankfully, the rest of the team came in to rescue them. Now, I'd love to say that this is where the end of the story is, where it's alright, you've been rescued by your friends, don't do silly stuff like that again. But no.
Except it wasn't, because I decided to open my big fat dumb mouth and ask the stupid cursed question that Mox hates.
I hate this question, but it comes with a lot.
Intact? Because I just had, like, you know, the nylon superhero clothing. And I was like, how fucked up did that get? And he's like, you know what? High or low, and I'm gonna roll a D100. And I think I guessed high.
You got a 1.
On a D100.
That's savage.
I was naked.
I was naked.
I hate
That's
that question.
savage.
It comes up so often, and every time it does, that's what happens.
It's really funny.
I have been the curse of my own victim of this same goddamn thing with Kedia.
Yeah.
Oh, anytime stuff like that happens, I just like, okay, if the DM wants it to be that way, they can tell me. Otherwise, everything's fine.
Everything's fine. I don't assume anything like that. I don't care about that. You're the one who asked me the question. I have to give you an answer.
It's literally us, the players, ask that stupid fucking question, and he has to answer it because, well, we asked it and we wanted to know.
I mean, if something happened, if I had a powerful piece of clothing or something, and something happens where generally, yeah, it would be damaged or destroyed, I'd ask, like, hey, is this okay? Because it's a reasonable question.
No, I was just asking about my normal day clothes.
Yeah, no, that is like, I would expect in that kind of situation, yeah, they're probably be a bit torn up.
A bit battle damaged, yeah.
Yeah.
Still, the funny ha-has.
The funny ha-has. So my own example of this, I don't know who asked the question. I think
Me.
it was you, actually.
It was me.
Oh, it's always you, now I think about it.
It's always me. It's me or Sky.
Yeah, but one of you were just like, hey, how big are Kedia's Bahanaga Hoogs?
Because this was a campaign that was mostly whammon.
Mostly women. I was like, I don't know, I don't really care. Well, are they bigger than mine?
Because my character's titties had been joked into being E-cups, and I've just accepted that's just how big her fucking titties are by now.
So I was like, I don't know what to think of it. And then I got pressured by everyone. I was like, fine, fuck it. Here's how we're gonna do this. I'm gonna take a die. I pulled out a D6, like the one that's currently in my hand that you can't see. I was like, alright, I'm gonna roll this. If it's a 1 to 2, it's smaller. If it's 3 to 4, it's the same size. If it's a 5 or 6, it's bigger. Got a fucking 6.
So now Kedia is the transfer student that shows up and's got even bigger Banhanika hoogs.
Big titty bitch.
Yep.
She do got the big titty.
She do got the big titty. You broke her house.
I did, and I tried to lie about it.
You did. You. That it's so funny that you tried to lie about it too, because. Okay. Kedia lived in basically like a, you know the Three Little Pigs.
Yeah.
She lived in like a straw house she made herself, but it was made out of random scrap.
Right.
All right, and it was held together with a hope and a prayer because she had a thing called.
Preface really quick that this is a fantasy campaign that Arcadia first originated in. It's not the cyberpunk one.
Yeah, she had a thing called Goka texture, what allowed her to basically make shift jury rig shit together, and she would use that to build a house, and she lived inside that house. And so it was not really well held together. Something happened in this particular day. I don't remember the exact detail of what caused you to be so angry.
I was really mad, and I needed to ask her a question because I either accused her of something, or there was something she knew of, or I needed from her. I don't remember, but I was banging on the fucking door.
And you kept banging as hard as you could. And if you hadn't said you were banging as hard as you could, I wouldn't have cared. But this thing was held together without hope and a prayer.
And the
So I was
problem is, I had a really high strength for this character.
It's like, okay. You're really doing that, huh? Yeah, okay. Give me a strength roll.
I mean, yeah, she wasn't thinking about it. She was angry.
Got the highest roll you really could have without critting. Because you didn't crit, I remember that.
Yeah.
Bang, 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 and the entire house collapsed.
Oh no.
I was no longer angry.
He was inside the house sleeping. So all of this collapsed. She's in her bed. She sits up like what in a daze, and she's looking around. And she's like, "What happened to my home?" Stares at the person standing there.
I was already gone.
Oh,
No, I ran. I
just
ran after
ran.
it fell.
like a child. So what happened? What happened to my home?
Ultimate game of knockdown ginger.
So after getting this together, it's like, man, I wonder what happened to my house. Does anybody know what could have happened? Hey,
I'm done.
Karen.
I was just in my room, and I was trying to pretend that I wasn't anywhere else. And then fucking Ardent shows up, and he's like, "Hey, do you know what's up?" No, I don't know. I didn't finish the question. Well, I don't know. I've only been here.
I don't know anything. What is?
Who are you?
Who are you?
I don't even know who you are.
Whoop, sorry.
It was a fun campaign. That campaign has so many fun, stupid moments.
Just trying to move things so it looks a little better.
Do you know who I miss from that campaign, Snoo?
Sure, these go together somehow. I just don't know how.
I think there are
kinda
pieces in between them.
Yeah.
I kind of missed the isolated goblin, Lorna.
I do miss Lorna. I also miss Amber and Luna.
I can understand missing Amber. Luna's a weird one. You guys didn't like Luna.
I wanted to get to know Luna, but you know, she didn't like me, so I didn't want to push it.
Yeah, she didn't like you. You guys kidnapped her and killed her friends.
To be fair, they fucking attacked us first, alright?
It's true.
Like, when I mentioned earlier that I had a character who died and came back, that was from this campaign, and that was Karen. So, in my defense, we were on equal ground.
What do we stop
Warmed
her
up to you.
died.
She warmed up to you guys at least.
She warmed up to Arden.
She warmed up to Arden because he was so pathetic she couldn't do anything to him.
She tried to kill him in the night, and then she
She tried to kill him in the night, but he was, I believe, recovering from getting his ass kicked, had lost his eye and had it replaced with a flower. It was just not great.
You know who I especially miss, though, and I will miss for eternity?
Is it why?
It's why.
of course it's Y.
I love why. I love Plant Grandma who will totally kill you if you fuck up.
Foxy Grandma.
Foxy Grandma.
I loved a lot of your interactions with Foxy Grandma. I think my favorite interaction you had with her had to be you going to her like, hey, I need to learn what potions do. How can I tell what this potion does? And you handed them the vial.
I handed her the potion. I think this was the animal potion. She looked at it, opened it, sniffed it, and then splashed it in my face.
You didn't die.
I didn't die. And I was like, okay, cool, great, thanks for the help, and took the bottle and left.
And then, oh god, the cotton candy one, where you went crazy. You're like, I'm gonna weaponize everything.
Well, yeah, may as well utilize the fucking potions I fumbled.
I mean, you could have used the cotton candy potion or something.
Yeah.
The crazy characters just reminds me of one of my friends going back to the World of Darkness ones. He had an alligator,
Okay.
a werecroc, and they have like long ass memories. Like they remember all of their ancestors and shit. But this one was had spent time in Nam. So yeah, it wasn't great.
Woo!
Things did not go well for that character.
No, I don't imagine.
Did the croc have PTSD?
Oh, the croc had PTSD.
Flashback.
Yeah. When are we stopping, by the way? Because we've been going for like the 3.5 hours now.
Yeah.
Shit, I didn't even realize. I don't know, whatever. You can stop here soon. We didn't really have a docket, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just kind of rambling. I started talking about D&D.
Yeah. Listen, you gotta understand, talking about D&D is a risky business.
I was interested. I wanted to learn things.
And that's fine. It's absolutely fine. It's just the conversation with D&D will either last 5 seconds or 5 hours.
That is true.
Listen, if any of you have ever watched any of my streams ever, even once, I will just go off talking about D&D as soon as someone gets me started on that. I think I have to make a rule for myself that says do not ask about the Void campaign. Because that's one that I've talked about too many times, and I'm not going to talk about it again.
What's the Void campaign?
Nope.
I'm joking. I just like the immediate nope.
My feelings are the same with the Persona campaign.
I mean, Chalk and I have a joke of saying, let's talk about the Persona campaign, because it lasted 2 sessions.
It was about only 2 sessions, and yet y'all won't talk. Shut the fuck up about it!
Because it's funny. It's so funny and stupid that you were trying to basically like using Persona games mechanics in a D&D setting to people that have never heard of the Persona games before.
Yes, I sure did, and it was all okay. That wasn't what the problem lies. The problem lies with the fact that y'all kicked your own asses harder than any enemy I threw at you.
I also threw salt everywhere.
And there's something especially mind-hurting than watching somebody manifest the creation and expression of their own psyche in front of them, looking at it and recognizing it as themselves, and then proceeding to strangle it.
It's really funny.
And having to tell a person who is playing like a 14-year-old kid, no! You can't walk around Japan and buy a gun.
No, you can't. I believe they're banned.
No, you can't. That doesn't mean I wasn't gonna throw him a bone. It wasn't like I was gonna be like, okay, I understand that there is a gun skill with the setting we're playing this in, or the system we're playing this in. I understand you put points into that. I will give you a gun. I just can't have you go buy an actual gun as a teenager.
And walk around.
But I have a workaround where it's not a real gun in the current setup, but when you guys go to the other world where things are dangerous and scary, that it becomes a real gun. No, I don't want that. I don't want a real gun. You can't have a real gun.
But I want it.
That's too bad.
Alright.
Or
Shall we?
you throwing salt at everything.
Yeah. To be fair, though not to me, because this was just bad character choice, I was playing a character who was basically the annoying Tumblr girl. Mind you, I had never watched any of the shows that, like, annoying Tumblr girls usually watched, and I had been on Tumblr for only a little bit, so I wasn't fully understanding of how annoying Tumblr girls really were.
Oh,
This character was fucking annoying.
Tumblr girls are next level. What can I say?
Oh no.
I was like a depressed traveler girl on my Tumblr days. I look back and I'm like, wow. Who was she?
I never really used Tumblr.
I wish I hadn't.
I used it mainly to, like, post art, and I followed artists, and then the purge happened, and then, 90% of Tumblr fucking left.
I remember the purge.
I will never get over the fact that to this day I remember my Tumblr name, and it haunts me. Oh, I will not tell this.
Okay.
This is
That's
a
fine.
secret I will take with me.
Alright, I'll tell
That's
you
going
mine
great.
then.
Won't say while the stream's alive.
Oh, I'm
No.
gonna say mine because I don't particularly care because I thought my name was funny. I still do. Mine was family-friendly gay sex.
Well, that wasn't the name, that was the title you had on your blog.
That's true, but that's also what people knew me as.
Yeah, family-friendly gay sex.
Uh-huh. And no,
Oh,
there was
that's
no
so good.
family-friendly gay sex on there.
No,
That's
it's
pretty
just normal stuff.
spectacular.
Let's see. The last thing you ever reblogged was a screenshot of an Instagram post that says, "Since you have read this, you will be told good news tonight. If you don't repost this, your worst week starts now."
Sounds about right.
You've got to repost that now, Snoop.
And then someone says, "My worst week already fucking started." And then the thing before that is some pretty bugs. They're moths though, so Trinky wouldn't like it.
No.
You don't like moths.
No, she doesn't
I
like
think
moths.
We've
Absolutely
discussed
not.
this. I know we've discussed this, but moths are friends.
No, they're not. No. No.
Yeah, my Tumblr is.
You see the
same.
moth attack me on stream the other night.
I did watch that.
You were with me. You were on stream with me.
I was. I also watched the
look-
clip.
You could see the moth in the clip.
Trinky, that's not the first time it's happened, though.
Oh, absolutely not. This is Moth Hunters Season 2.
I mean, I remember back in the day, like last year, it happening to you.
Yeah, last year it happened all the time. It was awful. It was horrific.
Sorry you had to go through such trauma.
It's awful. I remember going to the zoo with a group of people that are no longer my friends. And it was one of their birthdays, and they made me go in the butterfly enclosure.
Like, yeah, that's super fun. Like, even if it was my birthday, if I wanted to go see the butterflies, I wouldn't make someone who's fucking scared of butterflies, who is my friend, have to go through that, because that's fucked up and mean.
I think we had this discussion. Are they really your friend if they made you do that?
Well, they're not anymore. So I guess the question was no, they were not. But yeah, that was traumatic.
I'm gonna make a request. If you would maybe kindly stop here very soon because I'm fucking melting.
Is it hot?
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Is it very
I mean,
hot?
if we want
Hey,
to.
Snoo, why don't
I'm
you come
gonna
in
sort.
here? Snoo, why don't you come in here?
No, I'm gonna sort by section though.
No, Snoo, come in here. Please, feel the
No.
heat.
No!
Yes.
All my bits.
Lose your bits back, Trinky.
Thank you. I don't even know where my bits go.
Haha, while Trinky wasn't looking, I stole one of her giant pieces and put it on the floor.
Did you?
I did,
He keeps doing that. You're taking my glory.
and I said it.
You keep taking my glory. I keep putting all these bits together and I go back and they're gone. Mox, you piece of shit. Put it down.
Mox, quit being a sneaky.
We're at
Here,
six.
I'm gonna
We're at
move
68%.
these over. Nice.
Chris.
Give me one more.
We need to get to 69.
I can't work out where this goes.
Does that not go? No, it doesn't go in there. I can't go in
It'll
there.
go up here somewhere. It's just the answer to somewhere.
Hmm.
It's gotta go around here somewhere. There's nowhere else it could
Oh,
go.
I think
It went there.
Are we up to
And
69?
we're at 70. No.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, there's too many.
I puzzled too hard.
Alright, puzzle quit.
Yeah.
Deletes the puzzle.
Alright, let's see if my camera decides that it wants to frickin' work.
Alright, let's
I
see who
will
are
see
we
if
gonna
there's
raid?
someone we can raid.
Yeah, it's working! Awesome!
Woo!
Yeah, let's see if there is
I
anyone.
put the other bits in. Yay!
Moose is playing 7 days.
I'm gonna see if there was anyone.
There's also a BMA 4. They're playing Amogus.
Keronzi, do you have somebody that you would like to raid?
Yes. I do.
Alright. Who are they?
Hascam_live. Doing
oh,
a
Snoo has to Owu.
Ow!
friend is or he's doing a byproduct, but he's finishing up his Wheel of Mages run in Elden Ring.
Oh, cool.
So if we could go over that, that would be mighty fantastic.
Absolutely. Do you want to put their name in the general docket?
I will, but very quickly, YouTube, thank you very much for watching. Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that fun stuff really helps out. Makes you all majestic people. You know. All of that fun stuff. And we will catch you again soon. So take care, YouTube.